Hailing frequencies are open. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special one-shot from the Streampunks. It's good to be back in the Star Trek universe. Today's episode of the Lower Decks RPG is sponsored by Modifious, our good friends over at Modifious, who you know we've had a very special relationship ever since our Shield of Tomorrow days. It's lovely to be sponsored up with Modifious once again and partnering with them. As you guys may have known, Modifious did something absolutely wacky. They decided in their investigations of all things Trek to produce a Lower Decks campaign book. Bless them, as Lower Decks is one of my all-time favorite entries into Star Trek. Highly recommend everyone checking it out. If you've not seen the show, it's absolutely brilliant. Today, we're going to be playing a one-shot. This is an official adventure that I'm kind of adapting for our special Streampunk stream here. You can find the official adventure either on drive-thru or, of course, on the Modifious website. It is the Cerritos adventure. If you are familiar with it, if you have played it, do not give any spoilers in chat, or you will be beamed into the vacuum of space and live recorded as you implode. We're going to go ahead and kick things off. A last announcement before we do. I just want to let everybody know we have a very special announcement after the credits. So if you are interested in seeing what Streampunks are up to, do stay tuned. With that, I'm going to do a quick round of character introductions from everybody. So give me names, give me your names, a brief description, and anything you want to tell us about your character. So I'm going to start with you, Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm playing Elia Tasharo. She's a tiny, angsty, angry Andorian who is interested in the concept of flying a ship, but will probably never actually commit to doing it.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. Noir, if you would please tell us about yours.
I'm playing Gigi, who is a Wadi from the Gamma Quadrant, who heard about a very interesting game that you folks have here over in the Alpha Quadrant called Starfleet. I am looking to speed run up through the ranks to win Starfleet.
Excellent. All right. Next, Riley, if you would please tell us about your character.
Hello, I am playing 6 of 6. She is an XB, and she is a trans woman XB, and she's a provisional ensign because at this era, we have not yet been allowed to have XBs in command because the 7 of 9 of Battlefield promotion has not yet happened. So, Battlefield commission. So she is a provisional ensign, and she's a pretty crackjack pilot because it's the only time that she can tune out these emotions that she does not know how to handle.
All right. Sam, who are you playing today?
Hello. I am the emergency veterinary hologram. My species is hologram, and my rank is hologram.
There's another half to you, isn't there?
Well, are you referring to my companion who brings my holo projector with me? Because I would love to talk about my Targ, Borkley.
Borkley the Targ. I'm writing that down into my storyteller notes. Targ, Borkley. Excellent. All right. Eliza.
Hello. I'm playing Ensign Ubaya, who is a Tamarian, and she's in the command department. So there's red behind me. I didn't get a red shirt on in time. Ubaya is, she looks like your typical Tamarian with the 3 head ridges. She is very command at her core, like gutsy, like Kirk and Burnham, but really she's like a big softie on the outside, and she's kind of like calm and chill and happy.
You're playing Eliza.
Yeah, actually.
No, we're grateful. it's a double dose of Eliza. Like, we're good with this.
This character probably is actually the most like me than any character I've ever played.
Brilliant. I welcome this. Okay. And lastly, Bonnie Gordon, who are you playing today?
I'm also just like my character, Eliza. I had to bring her back. I'm playing Ensign Keela, the Ferengi security officer, and she wears clothes just like the other female humans. Ferengi women can wear clothes now, like the other females. One of the few Ferengi in Starfleet, and checking in as your security officer. I'm so sorry that you have me
Let
securing this
chaos
place.
reign.
Ha! Chaos! That sounds profitable.
All right.
Commence!
We're going to begin. Welcome back. That title sequence was created for us by one Caitlin Bruder, and I'm going to give her all the credit for that because it's brilliant. You should know because it looks polished, so you know that's not a typical Eric introduction. All right, let's go ahead and kick things off. The USS Valley Village is a California-class vessel, and right now, every shift on the ship of the lower decks, every single shift is obsessed with a single show. Nobody can stop talking about it. It is a Klingon reality dating show, very much in the spirit of modern day show called The Bachelorette, called Worthy Mate. And this was an event that happened on the last episode that everyone is talking about. Goodbye. Let me fix my camera.
Just look back, goodbye.
This is perfect timing.
Wow.
That was
I was
awesome.
like, that's the event?
Perfect timing. Yep. The
Play by
event
play.
is me just being like, I'm out.
Mic drop.
Pay no attention to that cosplayer behind the curtain. There we go. Okay. Last episode of Worthy Mate. You all see a ring of Klingon suitors standing before a Klingon woman who is standing in front of a small table that holds what looks like a couple of wrought iron candlesticks. There is tension in the air. She stands there and regards all the suitors. Until finally you hear her say, "Crod, step forward." And you see a Klingon man step forward, walk up and raise his chin, his beard waving proudly in the gentle breeze. She looks at him with narrowed eyes and says, "Crod, you angered me when you failed to stab the Romulan waiter in the head on our date after he spilled chetluch on my gach. You are fortunate that I find your ridges so pleasing. Therefore, I give you this wrought iron candlestick. You may stay." She then smashes him across the face with the candlestick, dropping him to his knees. Cut 2. Crod staring directly at the camera, his teeth broken and blood spattered all over the side of his split lips. "I knew she was staring at my ridges, but I will not fail to kill the waiter next time, even if they're a good waiter." Cut 2. USS Valley Village. You are all just getting up for the morning shift. You've been told that today is going to be a pretty intense day of working. And here is what is in store for you. Captain's log. Stardate 61154.01. The USS Valley Village is assigned to perform a long overdue maintenance overhaul on Subspace Relay Station 2103. An uncrewed beacon that's more than 5 years past its scheduled 10-year checkup due to a bureaucratic mix-up. Apparently, the Zayubian records officer who counted in Base 8 confused it with Starbase Station 1091 and logged it as already maintained. The station has therefore remained functional, but with a weakened signal and with occasional dropouts. Repairs have been a low priority due to the station's remote location, but Admiral McCormick complained to Starfleet when Starbase 24-5 missed the crucial final minute of the cross-sector Parisi Squares finals, so here we are. My hope is that repairs will be simple, So we'll have time to do a quick follow-up survey on the nearby Shawani system, whose second planet was last visited 30 years ago and was found to host a humanoid species at about class F on the industrial scale, corresponding to mid-20th century back on Earth. Societies at that level can change rapidly, so it's worth taking another look. I'm also pleased to have our newest crew member, EVH, assigned to the Valley Village. Eve is Starfleet's first ever emergency veterinary hologram, designed to identify and aid life forms that are often overlooked by Starfleet standard protocols. With the success of the Exio program, Starfleet is finally giving a real push to its photonic officers. I plan on giving them the full experience of being an officer, and I've already assigned them to a duty shift. It's an honor to be the testbed for such a highly skilled program, and I'm happy to welcome them to our crew. Cut to the bunks on the lower decks as everyone is receiving their duty assignments for the morning. As you were all gazing through your data pads and whatnot, you have this moment to sort of wake up, put on your uniforms, and socialize with one another before you begin your duty shift. Each one of you has been assigned a repair shift for the upcoming mission to repair this subspace relay. You have 30 minutes before you're to report to Shuttle Bay 1. What are you all doing this morning as everyone's waking up and getting out of their bunks? The other shift coming on groggily as you see some people just like rubbing their faces and just immediately crawling into bed. Some of them not even bothering to take off their uniforms and just pulling the sheets over and going to sleep.
I think Elia, like, no one ever sees her sleep. She's like, so whoever wakes up first, like, she's already up, like, reading a book. And if you ever ask about it, she'll be like, yeah, I woke up a little bit ago. But, like, no matter who woke up first, she always woke up a little bit ago. So she's quietly reading, waiting for her shift to wake up.
To further set the scene, by the way, there is a snoring targ that is currently laying on the ground. The targ itself seems to have some kind of technological attachment built onto its broad, thick shoulders just behind its mane. It attaches around the center section and has what look like these little nodes all over it. You all know them to be holographic projectors.
Sweet, sweet sound. But that's enough. And I gently poke the targ awake.
Goes right back to sleep.
And good thing that as a Ferengi, I'm very skilled in the game of poker, and I poke the targ again. Gently, yet firmly.
Targ's face lazily glances over at you, and finally the targ stands up and just stands there, gazing off, looking out the large portside window that gazes out into space. Right now, you're all seeing the beautiful blue marbled streaks of warp just outside your window, casting this very pretty ambient glow over the quarter section here. The targ just stares.
I just stare back like, don't want EVH to oversleep on their shift.
I think I have like, they've made a version of like a regeneration chamber that fits into the like bunks of the lower deck, like, but it's almost like having like a CPAP machine. So now I have to like put it away so it's not blocking the next shift to come into sleep. So every morning I'm like doing the process of like folding it up and putting it in a nice chamber.
Okay,
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think Gigi's gonna see all this and go, the fools are distracted. I will be the first one to complete my dailies for today. And like just take the pad and see what quest they have for today and just immediately like sneak off to start doing them.
Yep.
Victory will be mine.
In which case, yeah, you basically immediately grab your pad, zip up your uniform, and start heading straight to Shuttle Bay 1.
And Ubaya has rolled out of bed, and you all know this about her. She has these like 3 angular metal geometric things affixed to her uniform normally, But when she wakes up, they're on her little cubby, in her little cubby hole. So she takes those, kind of like throws them up in the air and lets them fall on the ground. Says, "Ah, it is going to be a good day. A day like Pramaya meeting Jengus on the front head." Yes. And she gathers the pieces and then affixes them to her uniform and stands up.
Okay.
Is anyone else assigned to repair a subspace relay today?
I guess I look at my tablet and see what I have in store.
Yes,
I do
indeed.
as well.
You see maintenance required on a subspace relay station.
Oh boy,
Relay station
sounds like fun.
2103, which is a deep remote station. It is nearby a star system that has not been explored in the past 30 years. And it is an unmanned relay station, but this one apparently, according to the logs, this relay station has not been maintained in a while and is having some issues.
Oh, great. Tech that I already don't understand. And now it's an old version of it. That's going to be fantastic.
The older the tech, the more lax of the security. Can't wait to crack it open.
Is that what
And
you
fix
used?
it. Well, I fix
Oh,
it.
oh, okay.
Obviously. Like, you know, when you get a pot of ceramic and it's all cracked and broken, and then I go and fix it, and then it's even more strong because of the fixing.
Sure.
Berkeley wanders around the corner. You hear the hissing sound of some kind of device that is essentially used for, we'll just say, indoor pet options. Kind of like pee pads, but for a very large targ. A few moments comes back.
I'm never sure. Are we supposed to pet? I never know because it's working. I'm not sure if it's like a violation to pet a service animal. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But has anyone activated Eve today, by the way? That feels like a thing we should do.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. I woke the targ, but that didn't really, doesn't do very much.
I mean, they're on a timer, right? Or do we just computer activate EVH?
Please state the nature of the veterinary emergency.
Are we allowed to pet your dog?
Borkley immediately you see Borkley come to life. The targ's eyes open wide, moves over immediately to the projection of EVH and just starts.
Are you my patient today? Good morning, good baby. Aren't you a good baby? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Swish back and forth.
Your teeth are looking very sharp.
These big
You
tusks.
are very ferocious.
You also have, as you were petting Borkley, you are starting getting transmission to your duty assignment today, also to assist in the maintenance of the relay station. You are part of the internal team that is going to be working inside the station, while there is an external team working on the surface of the station.
I have an assignment. I wonder if there are animals inside of the station.
Is that can we look up? Is that information we could be
You
gleaned from the
scroll
report?
and look around. This station has been unmanned for the past 15 years. It is so remote that it is one of when subspace relay stations are this remote, typically they're unmanned. They're just left out here to operate.
It's unmanned, but is it unanimaled?
That's a good
There's
question.
any mention of animals. You never know. Some kind of space monster may have just found this place and kind of made it a nest.
We
wonder
might
if it's
need
just
some
speaking
pest
of
control,
microanimals.
if you know what I mean.
There's always a menagerie somewhere, so I feel like even if there's nobody on it, like we could step into one. Who knows?
Perhaps there will be tardigrades.
Can I? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's just Ellie was gonna be like, well, you just tell me what to look for, and we can do that as we're like leaving to go get breakfast or whatever.
All right. What you got more?
I was just gonna. I was gonna chirp all of my companions.
Yeah.
And just go. Well, I do hate to brag. I must say, victory is sweet. I've already made it to my first task. And that's-
He does know that we don't actually start for another like 20 minutes, right?
No.
And that he can't leave until we all get there, right?
I'm just doing this behind them. I'm just like, we don't do that. Just let it go.
I believe they prefer to consider this experience as a competition. And we let them.
They're winning! Yay!
Hey, if they want to win, fine by me.
Yay! They're
It makes
winning!
them feel good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do my paperwork after missions. So
All right. You all wander down to Shuttle Bay 1. As you enter to the Shuttle Bay, as a quick reminder, the California class is kind of the workhorse of Starfleet at this point. It is taken over for the Excelsior classes that have been slowly phased out and is now one of the big movers of the tasks that all the other starships don't have to put up with. California class is known primarily as a ship that is used for the glorious second contact missions, as well as repairing subspace relay stations. One of the beautiful features of the California class is its expansive shuttle bays. When you all walk inside, you once again find yourself inside this great large shuttle bay that has all kinds of type shuttles inside, including Delta Flyer, one of the first Delta Flyers to be implemented after the return of Voyager. However, none of you are getting the Delta Flyer today. You are being assigned a typical shuttlecraft. You see the Catalina Island waiting for you all. The ramp is down for it currently and waiting for you all to board. It is up to you who is piloting the shuttlecraft over
Dibs!
to the subspace relay.
Very well. I will watch your flying. I will learn your strategy. And then the next time it comes to flying, I will defeat you.
Elia sits as far back in the shuttlecraft as possible, as far away from the pilot seat as you can.
Okay, you move as far back away as you can. Everyone loads up with their repair kits and whatnots. The tar. I cannot really be specific enough. Borkley is bulky and waddles as much. If you can picture like the big bulldogs of Targs, basically. Borkley gets around by simply shifting the upper two legs left and right more than he actually does walking with them. So kind of in a wormy-like fashion, just waddles up the ramp and takes a seat right next to Eve very happily as you all board onto the shuttlecraft.
Good uppies, Borkley. Well done.
Borkley has no idea what you're saying and is so excited that you're talking to him.
The feeling is mutual.
I want one.
Okay. So, with that, we're going to have our first roll of the game.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun. You are going to get to make a piloting check. So this is going to be a con roll. If you have a focus in shuttles, you may use those, of course. Otherwise, I would say this is a control con check, and whoever wants to roll for the Catalina Island may do so. The difficulty of this is 1.
Would astronavigation count as for shuttle for focus?
Not here, unfortunately.
Okay. I guess I should have picked that. Okay, I'll go ahead and roll. Since I yelled dibs earlier, I guess I'll put my office. This is my
I'm
first.
not flying this thing.
This is my first Star Trek Adventures roll, so I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yay!
So I roll 2, right, and then I'm rolling below.
2d20.
So, yeah.
2d20, and then you want to add essentially the 2 stats. You want to add your attribute and your discipline, and then you want to roll below those 2 combined numbers.
Okay, so my control is 10, my con is 4, so I'm looking for
14 or lower.
Yep. Okay. I got a 14 and a 7, so I have 2, so I get a momentum, right?
2 successes.
Yes.
The whole group gains a momentum.
The group, yeah.
Yay!
All right.
Huzzah!
You guys
Intimus.
feel the shuttlecraft activate its repulsors, and you fly through that beautiful translucent blue curtain force field as you start heading out. As you head out, you hear somebody on the comms go, hey. Okay, yeah, you're cleared for takeoff. Sorry, I just love saying it.
Sorry.
Real fast, I've forgotten my abilities. I built this character so long ago. I do have close-knit crew, which means when a scene begins, if there are fewer points momentum in the group pool than there are characters in the scene who possess this talent, then immediately add 1 point. So
You all have 2 momentum.
yeah.
Yay!
Wow, that's a handy little
And
talent.
they have added a ton of content since Clear Skies and even since Perseverance. Like a lot of stuff has come out. So, all right. The shuttlecraft takes off. The Catalina Island slips through that blue translucent force field, and you guys find yourself amongst the beautiful stars out here in deep space. Up ahead, you see the subspace relay station. Subspace relay stations are quite large. This one is about scale 3. It's a pretty big relay station, large enough. Scale 3, to give you an idea, the USS Voyager is scale 4. So this is about 1 scale lower than an Intrepid class starship. It's a pretty big relay station. Most of it just being electronics and communications equipment, but there are crew quarters inside for those times where they actually have people manning the stations. When you all arrive, you're going to be flying up to the docking section where the shuttlecraft is basically going to umbilical onto the back, and the doors on the ramp will open up and give you guys access to it just for funsies and for an opportunity to get some more momentum going. Let's go ahead and have 6 roll a piloting check to dock. Difficulty is 1, same as last time.
Okay.
While 6 is doing that, why do you, if this is only if it's okay with you, it's just going to be like real close to your grill going, if you fail and we die, victory will surely be mine. The points I've acquired.
You can't stress me out when I'm flying. I've told you this so many times, Gigi.
You must focus. This is a difficult game, in fact. I will win.
All right. I got a 14 and a 1, so...
Oh, a 1 is a crit. So that's an extra success. So that is going to be 3 momentum.
So
6 secretly thrives under the pressure.
I do it. I look away and I just like stare Gigi in the eyes, and like while I'm looking at them, I just like pull the knob and like it goes right into it. It's like going like a Tokyo drift. It's like
Yeah, that's what I was
Type 6A shuttlecraft just swerves around and docks. As it docks, by the way, it's actually 4 momentum because once again, you're because of that cool ability.
Oh my god.
That cool ability that Tasharo has. So y'all are at maximum momentum here. Y'all have 6 momentum. Y'all are maxed out. So
Yes, because as always, rules of acquisition number 21: never place friendship above profit, and that includes momentum. Ha!
Hey Gigi, so did I win that?
Victory is yours.
I just wondered if I won that because I know you were saying like there was a competition, and I feel like I won it. I just want to know how that feels. I just want to know.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
On your comm, as the door opens and you have access to the darker interior of the station, the lights all, the computer brings up the lights to full as you see a large room ahead of you. On your comms, you all hear your XO, the commander of the USS Valley Village, a Vulcan named Supal. The very even voice comes on and says, "Repair crew, this is the USS Valley Village. What is your status?"
We are locked and loaded. I mean, docked and boarding.
I hope you read the mission report. You will, of course, note that there is no necessary use of phasers, phaser rifles, or any kind of weapons on this mission.
And then I just slowly like put mine behind my back. Of course, I read it. Yeah. Read it.
Very well. Keep
Small print.
me posted on the turnout of the repairs. Valley Village out.
Did anyone actually read the task?
The task
Of
is simply
course.
this. You are, yes, essentially what you all know is that you are to board the subspace relay station, scan to see what the issues are, make repairs, and come home for probably some nice, bubbly, root beery types of celebration. Whatever it is that you prefer.
Well,
May I scan for life signs? I would like to find some life signs. There might be animals.
We are required to scan as part of this mission. So I'm sure we can also scan for life signs.
Just again, rule of acquisition number 7: keep your ears open. That also means your eyes. And then I'm gonna look at Borkley and like, you probably can smell. All right. Since
Okay.
his alert.
With that, Eve, you flip open your tricorder. Immediately activates. You set it to scan for life forms. Go ahead and make me your first roll.
Yay!
Yay!
This is going to be this would be a reason science check. If you have any specialties.
Well, if I am looking for non-human life signs, and I assure you, I am, perhaps some of my specialties, such as xenobiology or perception, might apply.
Okay. Yes. Xenobiology. Definitely apply here.
Excellent.
So go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty is, and I'm not kidding, 0. So it's an easy chance to gain even more momentum that you would kind of have to spend right away because you can't bank this extra momentum, as a quick reminder. But you get to use
I've
it for...
achieved 1 success.
Okay. No life forms, but since you have achieved above the difficulty, you can spend that extra point of momentum for obtain information. Right now, you currently do not scan any life forms available on the station, aside from you all, of course.
Since I've been scanning for life forms, I would like to use this momentum to obtain information as to whether or not the current status of the station is suitable for life forms. Could there be life forms soon?
Let's leave this to chance. Do me a favor, Sam. Roll me a d6 and let me know if you get an effect.
Oh no.
I get an effect.
Your eyes, in a characteristic fashion of imitating organics when they experience surprise, see that you didn't think to check before leaving on your assignment months ago, but it would appear that Borkley is going to have pups in about 2 months.
Mazel tov! Oh, I didn't hear that part. Never mind.
You see that
That's
basically pop up on your screen. There are 2 baby targs currently in the early stages of development.
Oh.
All of the parameters of our mission are diminished in the face of the news. Borkley is going to have puppies.
I wasn't aware that this game included animal husbandry.
Can I
it's
pet the
sensitive.
puppies? I don't think I pet Barkley, but can I pet the puppies?
Not at the moment. They
Oh.
are still inside Borkley. But when they emerge, it will be excellent to socialize them.
Dibs.
You did so well, Borkley. I'm so proud of you. I don't know how this happened reproductively, but I'm excited for the outcome nonetheless. Good job, good baby.
Well, I can tell you how it happened, and then I just pull out a chart of reproducing.
You
Well,
pull
you
up a
see,
chart.
when 2 targs really love each other.
And Elia's looking for the life support system.
You just move past them. I can totally picture it too. Your Andorian just eyes half open, kind of already over this conversation. As you move over, you see when you enter the subspace relay station, you see a large room, a huge computer console, a airlock door about 60 feet away from where you are, along with flanking, looks like plenty of EV suits that are currently set up, perfectly suited for everybody, except for, of course, Evie, ironically. Everybody else, though, there are some suits suited up. You see the console has activated and come online, and you do see that it is blinking, that it is experiencing error. It looks like this error has been blinking for a long time as you move up to it. It tried running its own system diagnostic, and it looks like it didn't complete. It's almost like there is a rainbow wheel just spinning.
I would
kind of
like
deal.
to go to the console and just maybe just take a quick gander and see if there's been any security breaches from it.
Okay. Go ahead and make me. This is going to be a. This is very likely to be a. I'm going to say this is probably an insight security check.
Here's my character sheet. Would be nice to.
Make an insight security check, and if somebody wants to roll for the station,
Woohoo.
the station has a skill of 3 on this. So go ahead, and if somebody wants to roll for the station,
I will.
okay,
No one else
Remind me
is.
one more time what it is. Sorry, I was.
it's an insight security check. And
Oh,
the
good.
the difficulty of this is 1.
Yay.
And the
Don't forget-
station. Okay.
Yeah. And the station
2
has
successes.
2 successes. Okay, that lets you obtain information as well if you so desire.
I would like that. Yes.
Let's find out what the
I-
station rolls. The difficulty is 1. The station, it's a D20, and the station has a skill of 3.
Yeah, no.
Not so
The
much.
station rolled 19.
Okay.
But whenever you attempt a task assisting by the ship's computers or sensors, you may re-roll 1d20, which may be the ship's die. I have technical expertise.
Nice.
Excellent.
Take
All right.
that, security protocols.
It's 12. 3 is a very hard target.
Well, sorry, 3 is actually what it would get for. Hold on 1 sec. Sorry.
Is it 3 plus something?
That's
The 3 is just the skill. Sorry, I didn't actually tell you. I gave you the skill, but I didn't give you the system. So the system itself is communications, and that is 10. So it'd actually be 13. You still missed it by 1, though, I think, right? Did you get?
No,
the
I
first
got
one?
a 12 the second time.
Oh, the second time? Okay, so you're going to get an extra success that you can burn if you want.
aha.
Aha.
Rules of acquisition number 74. Knowledge equals profit. Tell me what I need to know, Eric. I'm
So-
obtaining information.
It looks like there is some minor damage on the outside of the relay station that it's probably endured, very similar to another RPG that we play. It has endured what looks like the inevitable damage that a space station might occur when it is in deep space. In this case, you can see that it looks like some of the hull plating on the outside has been pelted many a time by astral debris, and you can see that some of it has taken some damage, but it doesn't look too bad. However, the systems themselves have, because they've gone so far past their maintenance, do indeed seem to be in a terrible state. Specifically, what you see is that there doesn't seem to be any security breaches, but the repair of the satellite is going to require an extended task.
I see. I'm
Um,
going to turn to the team and be like, it looks like this.
You haven't.
What?
Would you like to spend it for any obtain information or anything like that? Because you have options since you got a lot of success.
Yeah, but I was going to say,
Okay.
I was like, it looks like this place has been beaten by debris like a Klingon in Worthy Mate with a candlestick. Haha, I'm bringing it back.
Ah, my favorite show.
Me too.
Excellent.
I just don't get why they don't just talk about their problems, like, and then sort them out when it's an issue. But I mean, I guess that's not my.
That would be very unklingon of them.
It's true.
fair.
Okay. So for 1 spend, just quick reminder, to gain more information, you can spend as you get to ask a specific question and you immediately get an answer. So 1
Yes.
point of momentum out of the pool that you just rolled, so it doesn't cut it into the momentum that's been spent so far.
Yes.
What you will discover is not only does it require repairs, but it would look like the antenna is malfunctioning in such a way that it has been emitting on an unencrypted signal on a conventional backup relay of electromagnetic radio frequencies.
That's never good. I also have knowledge equals profit, which means when I spend momentum to obtain information,
Mhm.
an additional momentum is added to the group's momentum pool after all the other
Amazing.
spins a result. Look, I was ready for
can-
this.
You could spend another, that'll pool. You can't keep tapping that, but you can spend for more information if you like.
I'm gonna tap it as much as I can, Eric.
Okay.
That's my way.
The next piece of information you scan as you were going into the computer is that these signals, these EM signals that are currently transmitting right now, it looks like they're transmitting classified Starfleet data as well as conventional mission reports, and they're all aimed directly at the Shawan system.
And there's my security breach. Well, possible if they're getting it. Okay, everyone, we've got some work to do. We got to fix this thing like a.
6. What's up?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt Bonnie. That's why I was waiting.
okay.
Sorry. It's the Shawan system is the one we talked about. That's like it's like 20th century Earth level technology.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently, the transmission has been signaled. It's 3 light years away, and this looks like it has been transmitting for the past at least 12 years.
Prime
Can I-
directive. Who needs it?
Can I try and see, because we know the transmission has been aimed at that direction. Can I see if it's been received by anyone or anything?
Not from here, you can't.
Mm. Can I see if this was done on purpose?
Yes, I would say that would be. I would say that would likely be a control engineering or a control security check.
Okay.
The difficulty of one.
Okay. Would computer focusing computers help here?
Yes,
Okie dokie.
so you can apply your specialization.
That'll be a 1 and a 19. So
Okay, so at least you got that crit. So yes, 2 successes. No, it doesn't look like there's been anybody in the system. You don't see any sign that the system has been hacked. What you see from your diagnostic as you were searching through, just like Keela did, to find out if this has been tampered with, Gigi, you're pretty sure this is a result of not being maintained for the past decade and a half.
Hmm.
This has
Rather
been- yeah, this relay station is just in terrible shape.
Rather than this being the effect of a masterful stroke of genius by an opponent, this seems to be the result of faulty players in this game of Starfleet. This piece has been ignored so long that it's become a vulnerable weakness for the Starfleet. I will resolve this and then clearly go up a few ranks.
What would you all like to do?
Should we alert the ship? Should we
Nah.
Well, that someone else might steal my victory?
We'll brief them later, right? We can fix this. Piece of cake.
Though, according to your Starfleet protocols, I do believe this is a direct transgression against the rule set known as the Prime Directive.
Nah.
they have a
But
point.
it's technically not our fault.
Well,
Personally.
Being in command myself, it seems that we should follow protocol in this instance. And I don't think we would be blamed for this because we just found it. Correct?
Violations
I get
of
blamed
Prime
for a
Directive are
lot of
typically
stuff that was-
deliberate. Whereas
mean, if
this
it's been hap-
appears to be a violation of the Prime Whoopsie Doodle.
The Prime what?
When it's done unintentionally, I have heard it colloquially referred to as the Prime Whoopsie Doodle. That's correct, isn't it?
I see. We have a term like that in Tamari, and I had not heard whoopsie doodle before. Thank you.
We had a term in the collective. It was just a bunch of zeros and ones, though, so it probably wouldn't translate well to.
Likely unpronounceable.
We call these a foul or a she, but that's only in reference to Chula.
I do love fowl, like waterfowl. They are excellent. Should we repair this now?
Yes, I will stand by and supervise as I am in the command division with no technological skills.
I can give it a try. I'm gonna try to use my neural interface to try to connect with the thing and see if I can adjust it and maybe stop the signal or see if it's going. I want to see if it's been received or how by what's on the other end of this line or something along those lines.
Okay. Of course, your neural interface is incredibly advanced and is easily able to connect to the Starfleet computer. As you jack into it, connecting into the computer, the data stream begins to appear in your mind as you're going through it and sifting through it at incredible speeds. Sure enough, 6. Yeah, this is beaming directly to Shawani 2, which is the planet with the Class F industrial civilization that is pre-warp. And it has been broadcasting for roughly close to a decade and a half. What you can tell is everything that has passed through this relay station, from classified information to ship logs, to movements, to discussions about how to properly raise cats. Everything is been transmitting directly from this station to that planet. And it looks like it's all just pure happenstance of the antenna being damaged from lack of maintenance.
What I'm going to try to do then, to go a little bit deeper, I want to see if I can pick up like broadcast signals from that planet to see like if I'm picking up elements of this signal in their culture. Like if there's like TV shows that are using things from this strange alien signal that have like become part of their culture.
Okay. With that, I would say you guys have gotten so many successes on this computer check. The relay station is not designed to receive. It doesn't look like it's calibrated to receive radio transmission or TV transmission. It looks like it's more calibrated towards Starfleet, like the high-speed subspace information that travels through starships and across other subspace relay stations. You do see that its logged transmissions have occurred, but and they've been, of course, they're traveling from 3 light years away. But it doesn't look like it recorded the nature of those transmissions. So there's no detailed log of what the transmissions are, just that it has been detecting the activity from the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I convey to everybody, as I'm doing my like weird interface trance, I'm like conveying this information about all this has been, the cat thing especially, because I know Evie's going to be very excited about that. So I was like, letting you know.
A quick question.
Yep.
It's a weird one. Is there a fabricator on the shuttle we came in?
I mean, there's a replicator on the shuttle, and there is also, keep in mind, there are living quarters on this relay station. They're like bunks, and there's a space. There's also a holo transmitter on here as well, a holographic transmitter. But it's all because these relay stations are typically made in the same way as all the other relay stations. So there's a place for a crew to live here. Looks like there's enough space for 4 people to live on this relay station during their 3-month duty shifts.
Is there any way that I could look up Shula culture and replicate their clothing?
Shula culture? Oh, you mean the Shawani?
Shawani.
The Shawani currently, the last bit of information that is in the Federation database is roughly 30 years old. And what you see is the relay station doesn't seem to have access to the Federation database files because of the damaged antenna.
So if we...
go ahead. I was just going to say, would the shuttle be able to pull that?
The shuttle can connect to the Valley Village, and it has access to that information, yeah.
Yeah, I think he would go to the shuttle because Six had a brilliant idea, and Gigi will never admit that. Which... The relay isn't built to receive information, but the shuttle is. It has to receive information from our ship. So essentially, he's just gonna try and steal Six's strategy, and do it from the shuttle instead.
So what you discover right off the bat is, in order to receive that information, you have to use the shuttle sensors. And frankly, the shuttle sensors are not strong enough to pick up the radio transmissions from 3 light years from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I earned that.
Yeah, no, as you activate the shuttle immediately, as you try to start reconfiguring the computer, the shuttle is able to detect the presence of the transmissions, but it's not exactly decoding them per se.
Wonderful. All right, I'm just going to replicate a couple of outfits for all of us that are outdated, like 30.
Unfortunately, the replicator on the shuttlecraft is only for food and small objects. There is actually no fabricator for actual physical objects like clothing or materials. You can do some replication of some industrial materials that you need for repair, but that's about as best as you get on this shuttlecraft.
Alpha Quadrant.
Yep.
Okay, that's it.
Also, when you step out of the shuttlecraft after looking, you just see Six go like...
She's onto you.
Yeah. I'm not normally competitive, but you have made me competitive today, and now I'm doing it. I'm doing it competitive. Is this right? Is that how we call it?
Yeah. You're doing a wonderful job. And also, it's like that. It's like the Futurama fry squid, where it's just
Yeah, the narrowed eyes.
Look, I know we're here to like repair things, but also if we take out that antenna, does it just stop sending it to that planet? Like, I feel like I should just put on a suit, go out there and shoot it.
Is there a power button on the inside?
You can shut down the array.
Oh, well, that's probably better than me destroying it.
Yeah.
No, I do love that that's the conversation that happens, though.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess
I found a reason for the gun. Like, what if we just
look
power? Okay.
you never know when you're gonna need this. And I pull the phaser out. Not that I thought we were gonna need this, but
No,
we
no, of
might have had to use it.
course.
So Keela, you move over to the console where everyone's been working. The console is quite large and moves about 6 feet in length. So you easily find yourself some space on there. Tapping on a few of the buttons, you get the command codes and enter in your own authorization and put the station into standby mode. And the station begins to power down. Just as the transmissions and the powering down starts to happen, you all hear the chirp on your communicators. And once again, you hear the XO, Sapal, come in, away team. The Valley Village has detected a power down on the subspace relay station. What is your status?
Currently breaking the prime directive. I mean, not us personally, but
I'm going to need you to specify, Ensign.
Is there a way to like just send a report?
Sure, you can send the data.
The prime whoopsie doodle has been officially whoopsied.
No, I literally asked if we should do that, and you told me no.
Well, but I panicked when they asked me directly. I'm sorry.
This is going well.
As the transmission begins to unfold, you hear Sapal say, receiving data. Oh. And in the background, you hear your captain, Captain Fiesel, the Denobulan captain of the USS Valley Village, go, holy shit! On the bridge. Sapal on the communicator says, away team, please stand by.
The captain
You got
owes
it,
him.
boss.
The captain owes some latinum in my swear jar.
A moment later, your communicators chirp again, and you hear Sapal say, away team, please meet us at the following coordinates. Valley Village out. Outside the window, you see the Valley Village pull back, turn to starboard, and jump to warp.
Wait for- They're not even gonna wait for. Okay. They
Well,
could have like turned us back. If
But they want me to fly to them, which is great. That works out fantastic for me.
it's gonna be so much slower. No, we're back on the go to the shuttle board.
Yeah.
You all receive coordinates. The coordinates indicate they are headed to Shawani 2.
Oh gosh.
I mean, it'd be
Let's
a
go.
shame to leave a good shuttle just stuck here. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's good to take the shuttle with.
They could have like come back though.
Look, rules of acquisition 211. Employees are the rungs on the ladder of success. Don't hesitate to step on them. We are the employees. Just get back in the shuttle and let's go find our captain.
I'm confused. I thought the Federation did not adhere to capitalist standards anymore.
Yeah, well, the rules of acquisition haven't really been, adapted for a federation. So I just,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still pretty new to all this.
I just say it how it is.
I mean, the structures are still there. It's they haven't fully split off from it as we're walking into the.
It's true. They say
According
that
to
Starfleet
Shuttle.
is good, but no good deed ever goes unpunished. Rule of acquisition 285. I've missed doing these, by the way. That's funny talking.
So excited.
I've just been
So
sitting on all of these for so long. It just feels good to.
It's
What would
great.
you all like to do? You gonna hop back in the shuttle?
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't really
headed
have
back
a
to shuttle.
choice.
I eyeball Gigi to see if they're going to go for the seat before I can get to it. I'm going to see how that
Like it's one of those the quick and the dead moments. It's
Yeah.
like,
Do they race
Yeah.
for it? I hope they race for it. I think they should.
I think we're racing for it, but trying to act like we're not racing for it. We're kind
Yeah,
of
it's
both.
power walking.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so we're just gonna go to the ship.
Yeah, we're just going to the shuttle.
I will let you have it out of character. I'll let you have it in character because I got it on the way here. So
Oh, okay, awesome. In that case, it's just like, ha!
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yes, I will take us to where we need to go.
Okay. In this case, it's easy enough to plot a quick warp 1 jump to meet up with the USS Valley Village as she is entering orbit around Shawani 2. You all pile back into the shuttle. Shuttle having now leaving the station that is now on standby. It has currently stopped use and is now transmitting. It is now transmitting its shutdown to anybody who's attempting to use it. If you're concerned about that, yes, that shutdown transmission will be reached by Shawani. However, not for another 3 years, since you are 3 light years away. So you can deal with this right now. You all pile back into the shuttle. Door slowly, infuriatingly, slowly closes and seals, and you all disembark immediately and start heading after the mothership, jumping into warp. It only takes but a few moments at warp, roughly a minute, 5 minutes or so, as you jump out of warp to find the USS Valley Village in a very high orbit over the northern hemisphere of what looks like a very beautiful, somewhat Earth-like planet down below. Sensors are automatically picking up the presence of the USS Valley Village, obviously, but is also picking up the presence of some very low technological, probably like very early satellites that are in orbit. They look like communication satellites, probably not capable of spotting the Valley Village, but it's not entirely clear. You have to imagine that they're accommodating for that, considering that they're currently, even in high orbit, they're still kind of close. But you all leaping out of warp and heading straight towards the Valley Village, you see the hangar doors open in anticipation of your arrival. And you hear, Valley Village, you are cleared. Or, yeah, sorry, Catalina, I just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Have you guys been keeping up?
Of course, it wasn't very difficult at all.
Worthy Mate was so wild last night. I can't even believe that she gave Crod. She didn't kill the Romulan. I can't believe she gave Crod the candelabra. I can't believe she did that.
I can't believe it either. That did not bring honor to his family. And as we all know, rules of acquisition number 6, never allow family to stand in the way of opportunity. I'm ashamed.
Well, but she made it very clear that she liked his ridges. So I don't know. I guess that made sense to me. I don't understand what the confusion is.
I guess it comes down to personal visual preferences over moral standing, you know?
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people are really aesthetically oriented. Yeah. That's the thing that I picked
Somebody
up
else from somewhere on the ship jumps in and you say, yeah, I have the same thought on that too. I really think that what it really comes down to is that ridges are a big deal in Klingon culture. Kind of like the way some avian species on various planets have a certain feathering. It really kind of draws members to sort of inside. Hey, stop. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about this right now. Well, you don't even have to be on the channel, Hicks. You can turn it off. No one invited you to this conversation in the first place. This is the shuttle bay. Where are you right now? Jeffrey's Tube 6. Well, then get off. We're not responsible. The shuttle sets down.
You tell him.
Go back to the part about the avians.
Hey, we're planet side now. Maybe we'll see some birds.
You hear the voice of the captain on all of your communicators. This is Captain Fiesel to the away team. Please report to debriefing immediately. The commander's going to be waiting for you.
Whatever you say, boss. I mean, Captain. Sorry, I meant Captain. Oh, shoot. I was thinking of rule of acquisition 33. Never hurts to suck up to the boss. Whatever you say, Captain.
You're still on the comm. You're
I know.
all that. Okay.
Turn it off.
Wait, I want to hear what she has to say. Cuts off.
I really didn't mean to say it like that. It happened wrong.
What's up?
I love it.
I was just gonna say, just for the record, the landing was extra as hell. Like there are needless flips and spins.
You did a 360 and sat down, and you hear somebody in the ops bay go, "Nice, that was nice."
I would have gotten here in
90
4
degree
minutes.
back.
I'm just saying I would have gotten here in 4 minutes, but that's fine.
Instead of a 90-degree back, it's a 360 back. Like
Yeah.
we're already...
We actually leave the bay and come back into it again during it somehow.
Oh my god.
We do a circle around the ship to like get a view of the ship and then come back into it again.
The DS9 music plays.
Yeah, very slow motion, like panning of the entire
scenic route.
Why does our ship have pylons?
It's like Star Trek 1, the motion picture.
Yes.
Yes. I'm
It's
dedicating
just
45
very
minutes
slow.
of this
It's like 20
stream.
minutes of.
Let us all now just sit quietly for 45 minutes and imagine flying around the ship, and that'll be.
Oh gosh, or like Spaceballs, where it just keeps going and going. And going.
The entire time of that, by the way, I'm just staring at Borkley, wanting to pet Borkley so badly.
Borkley when Borkley's not doing anything, all Borkley does is stare at Eve.
Oh,
The feeling is mutual.
Borkley just stares at Eve, just like
That's like
happily.
enrichment.
And I'm totally stealing that from Punky, because whenever I would drive her around, she would
Aw.
not look out the window like other dogs would do. She would just sit in the seat and stare at me as I drove. So
There are
Borky does
so
this
many
same.
obstetric exams to do on Berkeley right now, and I've been doing all of them. This tricorder has been getting a workout.
Cut to you all currently in one of the science bay rooms where you see the modular laboratories, as this is kind of like the low hub communication network here on the USS Valley Village. The XO is standing in front of you, arms folded behind his back. He is a Vulcan. Haircut, everything. Looking at all of you very unamused as he passes out data pads to all of you and says, "The damage to the Prime Directive could be considerable. We are currently attempting to assess information as much as we can. We require you all to monitor and discover the nature of the breaches to the primary directive. This will require you to conduct sensor scans on the planet to monitor broadcasts, as well as any cultural references you might find to Federation technology or Federation culture. We are currently using a modulation in our shields that will deflect any radio signals that would be headed our way, so the Valley Village, at least at the moment, is effectively cloaked. Your sensor scans should also similarly remain undetected by the technology of the era. So, scan to your heart's content, as they say, and do report back any findings immediately. Do not delay on them at all. Do not hesitate. If you feel the need to question whether or not you should report something to command, go with report it to command immediately."
Yeah, that was on me. Sorry.
By
You
the
know
way,
me.
did you finish repairs? And an eyebrow goes up.
We were kind of
there,
told by
but-
the captain to go straight to you.
And you did not finish repairs before you did so. Interesting. Please report to me when you have discovered something. And with that, the commander turns and walks out.
We were only there for 5 minutes.
I'm so sorry for this.
Do it.
Gigi's gonna raise his hands at the Vulcan as he's getting ready to leave.
He pauses and looks at you and says, "Yes, Ensign."
I'd imagine that all of this will lead to a massive progression in our advancement towards the next rank.
And he turns and leaves.
Now, let me ask you: amongst Vulcans, now is Sepal like a hot Vulcan? Because I've heard that like Spock was like a hot Vulcan, but like, we were talking about the ridges being appealing. Okay.
Well, the ridges, I mean, it sounds like the Klingon was ridged for her pleasure. It might not be aesthetically pleasing for everyone.
No, I understand. Yeah. I blush a little bit when you say that ridge for her pleasure thing, and then I'm like, I get that like Vulcans aren't Klingons and ridges, but I just meant like never mind. I just wondered if Sepal was like a hot Vulcan.
And Elia leaves the conversation. I'm gonna go
You turn and once again
scanners.
walk away. As this conversation starts to slowly turn thirsty, you find yourself beelining for the next computer console to start sensor sweeps. I will add that 6, you will have probably noticed, at least through your Borg implants alone, that the Vulcans' features are indeed quite symmetrical. With that,
Ooh, hey.
you all
Not my bag, but I'm happy for
begin-
them.
you all begin what will be your quick scans. So whoever wants to take the point on this may do so, but this is going to be a sensor sweep of the planet Shawani 3. You're using whoever wants to roll for the planet. Is that that's going to be our scientist, our resident bioscientist? It might as well be. All right, Eve. Then
I feel like also if there's a way, can we like be scanning for specific things? Like I'd be scanning for like maybe like
I would say that's a team
tactical war
information.
things.
Yeah.
Got it.
By the way, y'all did lose a point of momentum as we have changed scenes. So y'all are down now to 5 from 6.
Oh, deficit.
Okay. With that, if you could please, Eve, as you and the rest of the team initiate scan and make a reason science check. The Valley Village, as you'll see on the Valley Village's character sheet, has a sensors of 10 and a science of 3. So whoever would like to roll for the Valley Village may do so. The difficulty of this is 1.
Excellent. Because I am scanning with an eye to life signs and the variety thereof, may I use my focus in ecology?
Yes, I will permit that.
Thank you. Scanning.
Is anyone scanning for the Valley Village?
Who would like
You
to
can
scan
take
for the
it.
Valley Village?
You can take it.
Okay.
That makes sense as the command person.
Yeah. Command us.
I always forget how hard it is to play command in STA.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Don't
Especially
worry,
at command
lower
amongst
decks
ensigns.
STA.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You're
no
in
rank.
great shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do the
I'm
point
sorry,
where
what-
thing and do everything and not let anybody else do anything
Mhm.
else.
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning every department. What is this for the what is it, sensors?
Sensors and science.
Sensor sign.
Okay, great.
That's also
Yeah.
the RPG game that I play on the ship, Sensors and Science.
I got an 8, which is a success.
Okay. So how many successes total then?
That would be a total of 2 successes. But
Okay.
also, I have extensively scanned Targ puppies. Ask me how I know. Answer, it's the number 20 on one of these dice.
Excellent. A complication. I'm going to bank threat.
Enjoy.
All right.
Sam.
But you do gain a point of momentum from that. But
Woohoo.
also you gain 2 points of momentum technically because of Caitlin's ability. Because
I think
What,
it's. I
six
think
though?
it's.
is it only when you roll?
No.
Oh, it's only if you have enough momentum equal. Well, you guys have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
It's-
6 of you. You were down to
It's
5 momentum.
people who have the ability. So if 2 people
Ah.
have the ability, then it's if we have less than 2, we gain 1. But I think
Uh-huh.
I'm the only one with close knit crew.
I
So
see.
if we ever have less than 1 at the start of a scene,
Gotcha. At the start of
then
the
we
scene.
immediately gain 1.
Okay, cool. Then
So
never mind.
it's not every scene. It's only if we drain it. I pop us back up to 1.
That's fine. Okay, you have 6 full momentum then. So you guys initiate your scans. The scans take a few minutes as the computer begins to collect data on it. And here is what you discover as I read it straight from the adventure. The investigation reveals the following. The Shawani are a typical bumpy-headed humanoid species, have been picking up Starfleet data streams for more than a dozen years.
Oh no.
Not only have they translated and unencrypted signals, but the entire culture seems to have been influenced by them. The Shawani eagerly follow the reports of Starfleet vessels' adventures. People write books about their missions, sell Starfleet-style memorabilia, debate who's the best captain, cosplay as their favorite aliens, and so on. There are subcultures that have even embraced Vulcan, Klingon, Bajoran, and other alien philosophies and customs. Holy appropriations, Batman.
It's a Star Trek convention planet.
The planet's distance from the relay means the information is only current through the past few years. The Shawani have only recently learned of Voyager's return from the Delta Quadrant, for example, and have been binge watching the reports of its adventure. Those Shawani may find them unbelievable and have many questions about the crew's behaviors that you can see all over message boards and people debating and insulting each other. The Shawani's discussions include references to classified developments from within the Dominion War, which the ship's computer largely redacts on the characters' consoles. So you are all seeing that get immediately redacted as you're seeing it come through, as they lack sufficient clearance. But the Shawani are getting it unfiltered. The Shawani or limited computer network is highly centralized, though. They're relying heavily on a single central mainframe called Library Computer. After the old Starfleet term, the urban areas around the Library Computer Center appear to be the most technologically advanced and prosperous on the planet, showing signs of anachronistic advancement-based technologies on Federation principles. In other words, this is a Prime Directive nightmare. Their entire culture seems to have been changed and shifted from these transmissions, and that they have been adapting everything enthusiastically into their entire way of being.
Are there like extremists who are like, we only follow the tenets of those old scientists and not all these new developments in Starfleet that have come along since then? Like, is that
You would see note, that would be an obtain information spend if you're looking for something.
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna
that.
see. I like this idea of them dividing up their culture based on different aliens and all, but I want to know if they have different eras too. Like, no, the newer texts are the ones that are, yeah.
Is a group that is considered a bunch of radicals that call themselves primers. And apparently primers are people who are protesters who believe that if you are really adhering to the so-called Prime Directive that the Federation adheres to, you should be deleting all of this information as you get it, as this is a breach of the Prime Directive. They are considered the outcasts, the geeks, and nobody likes them.
Oh,
And they're kind of
So
they're
backwards.
not in with the cool kids, and they are considered, they're kind of treated like the Shawani culture kind of disrespects them and treats them a little bit like Greenpeace protesters. They don't want them around, even though they might have a message to deliver. So that's kind of how they're received.
Reading through this, Elliot kind of goes, at what point does this become a really weird thought experiment where this is their culture now, and if we intervene, we're violating the Prime Directive again?
Ooh.
Like,
Oh,
it's been
wow.
a while. Like, does this become violating the Prime Directive to change their way of life?
But we
Well-
can't. This is kind of a cool thing because if we go down to this planet, we really don't have to dress up. We can just kind of be ourselves, and they'll just think we're in costume.
That's true.
Well, if they've gotten information on all of the species that Starfleet has encountered, then clearly they will have been influenced by my people, the Wadi, and we can simply challenge them to a game of Chula.
And the cats. They know about cats now.
Oh wait, we should definitely tell the captain this information because last time that was on me. And I look over at 6, and I'll be like, "You can do it that time. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder."
No, it's fine. It was your idea this time, so I'll let you have it if you want. You know, I want you to suck up to the boss.
While
And
they're
as
both
we-
doing goals.
Yeah. And as I was like, as this is all happening, we're just wasting more time.
Yeah.
As they're both doing it, I would like to report to the captain.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
That's great.
what's happening.
That's
So as
perfect.
the two of you are going back and forth, you're
No.
interrupted
After
by the
you,
sounds-
after you, 6. After
Yeah.
you, for real.
But you
As
wanted to
y'all
suck
are-
up to the boss. It's your whole thing, and I understand. Like, it's really important to you, and so I just want to let you have it because I just okay.
and you're cut off by the sound of Gigi overlapping all of you, cross-talking over the top of you as he immediately reports. They immediately report into the captain as you hear their report immediately broadcasted.
Okay,
And-
then.
Wrapping up this first part of our mission. Captain's log supplemental. The situation on Shawani 2, as reported by the science officer and our previous away team, cannot be allowed to stand. Starfleet is responsible for disrupting the Shawani's culture, so that makes it our responsibility to remove the contamination. The first officer will lead a landing party disguised as Shawani in order to infiltrate the central mainframe. The science officer is constructing a virus that will seek out and delete all Starfleet data throughout the Shawani centralized computer network, though it will need to be introduced directly into the mainframe that they call the library computer. I've asked the chief medical officer if there was a way to sort of, well, maybe if it was possible to possibly delete the Shawani's memories from Starfleet, but it turns out there's no way to do that. Well, there is a way to do that in theory, but it would erase all the associated memories of every living being, as well as the entire population, giving them essentially amnesia for the past decade. And while I do love ethical gray areas as a captain, this one is not necessarily an ethical gray area. Wiping the memory of an entire planet doesn't feel like a challenging decision. It doesn't fit into the definition of non-interference. At least not one that I've ever heard of. And I'm pretty sure it does seem to fit the definition of a dick move in several discussions on the subject. Along with the relay station repair, deleting the existing data will at least prevent further contamination. And it seems like our best option. This is a nightmare. That is where we are going to pause for our 10-minute break. And when we come back, Starfleet's biggest Prime Directive breach in its history. And how is this going to go down? We'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Woo.
Welcome back, everybody, to our one-shot that is going so well here on Althaven, our Streampunks one-shot of Lower Decks. We're going to go ahead and jump back right where we left off with you guys just now getting the data and having swept through. You were given the assignment to scan Shawani 2 to find out the level of breach of the Prime Directive that might be taking place on the planet below. You have discovered that it is catastrophic. They apparently, for the past 12 plus years, more so, the entire culture apparently has been completely transformed as they've been receiving all these data transmissions from Starfleet. Many of them sensitive information, dangerous to have in the hands of anybody else, classified information dating back to the Dominion War. It's been completely unencrypted and broadcast to the planet below. Having accomplished your task, the crew has presented its findings to command, and the command staff has quickly decided that it needs to put together a mission to infiltrate Shawani society very calmly and quietly and get rid of the data as quickly as possible. The command staff has assembled an away team, as they do, and has gathered in Transporter Room 1, and they're beaming down to the planet now based off of the information that you have given them. They are going to immediately wipe the library computer, which apparently is the source of all the data information, a central information hub for all the data that has been transmitted down here.
Wait, and we're not part of the away team?
Your lower decks.
So
Go repair it. Go repair and relay.
As you see, Keela's very upset. I have the foam finger that
You're
says
an
Starfleet
ensign.
number
Yeah.
one.
Your lower
The
decks.
little hat. That says,
No.
I
Going
definitely
you
came with a
forever.
costume. Yeah.
I was ready to be a fan.
No, your mission assignments are probably updating and making sure that the plasma conduits on deck 3 are properly updated, and then perhaps cleaning the filtration system on the holodeck.
But I had the foam finger.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Is the information that they had like enough for them to have built technology well beyond their years, or is it just stories that they heard?
So the scan did reveal that it looks like I'll read it back to you. The Shawani's limited computer network is highly centralized, relying heavily on a single central mainframe called the library computer, after the old Starfleet term. The urban areas around the library computer center appear to have the most technology advanced and prospered on the planet, showing signs of anachronistic advancement based on Federation technological principles. So you're seeing the signs of Federation technology emerging here.
Okay, that's worse than I thought it was.
It's bad. It is perhaps, at least that you know of, it has to be the worst breach of the Prime Directive in the history of Starfleet. And that's saying something, because there've been a lot. So, though you're not privy to the scene, it pretty much unfolds like this. The away team gathers on the transporter pad with the captain watching, the commander letting them know that they will be back shortly and report in as soon as they've taken out the mainframe. A few moments later, the transporter pad energizes, and each one of them is surrounded by a blue curtain of light, and they beam off the pad. The captain takes a deep breath and says, "Now we hope. In the meantime, I'm going to go study the rest of those data transmissions that the lower deckers managed to find, and maybe we can," before she finishes, you hear overhead from down below, "Valley Village, we need emergency transport right now!" And the transporter chief look at the captain. The captain looks back at the transporter chief and says, "Get him out of there!" A few moments later, they beam back onto the pad, looking disheveled. The Vulcan has what looks like lipstick kiss marks all over the side of his face. He's looking very unamused. Keep in mind, they have all been surgically altered to look like Shawani. They have bumpy heads. Their ears have been changed to blend in. They have that slight greenish tint to their skin. As they reemerge onto the data pad, not only does the commander have kissy marks all over his face, but the chief science officer of the ship, a Tellarite named Lieutenant Gurkow, is missing his shirt and looking kind of surprised. As they materialize and the captain stares at them, the Tellarite staring back, Commander Sapal says, "Captain, the situation might be more complicated than originally surmised." In which Lieutenant Gurkow says, "They invited me to be in a fan film." Cut 2. The briefing room. You were all gathered in the senior officer's briefing room on deck 1. for many of you, this is the first time you've been allowed into this space. So you're looking at the long table and the windows that look out to the hull and to the planet below. And you can see a very stressed looking Denobulan captain as she is sitting at the head of the table. Each of you takes a seat as the commander, the XO, a severe looking Vulcan, stands behind the captain, and information pops up on the screen behind her. The captain says, and since, well, the situation is definitely different, complicated. As it turns out, they have all of the Valley Village's logs and know the entire senior staff. And even though they were all disguised as Shawani, apparently they might have been recognized the moment they beamed down. So, putting our heads together, we've come up with a solution to the problem. We need people that they would not know, people that wouldn't feature very specifically into their logs. In other words, the XO interjects, we need people that are simply not important enough to make it into the greater ship logs that the Shawani would not recognize upon beaming down. Therefore, the captain means to say, you will be our away team.
I pull my foam finger back out that says Starfleet is number 1. Yes!
You will not be taking that with you, Ensign.
What about my Ferengi Forever hat?
The captain sees the Ferengi Forever hat and she goes, well, looks up at the Vulcan. XO, it would perhaps lend to the costume.
Rules of acquisition number 47. Don't trust a man wearing a better suit than your own. We gotta look worse than them.
You will be reporting to the medical facilities in order to be cosmetically altered in order to look like Shawani.
Not my ears.
Captain, I have 2 questions. Since I already have a bumpy head, am I okay?
Well, that's a great question. Essentially, because of the nature of the situation, really all that's going to need to change is a slight shading to make sure that you look like the locals and bumps added to your head. You can look anything else.
All right.
So
My second question.
Yes.
I never get to talk to anyone about my favorite book, the autobiography of Captain Sisko. May I bring that to the planet? And perhaps use it as a way to connect with the locals?
I would normally perhaps scream no, but for some reason, I think that actually would work. In fact, I might say that the damage to the Prime Directive has been so extensive that at this point, it really can't get much worse.
Yes.
Don't leave it
I say
behind,
don't
though,
say it
Ensign.
out loud.
Yes,
don't
of course,
jinx us.
Captain.
Yeah. But yes, that should be fine. Don't take a data pad. Replicate it.
Yes, Captain.
I must say, Captain Sisko is a very valuable piece in Chula.
Do what you can to blend in, she says, and then leans across the table. But don't do too much to give away that you are anything but Shawani. Here are your new mission directives. You may write these down in your character sheet. Keep in mind that not only do you have your values, but you can use your directives to call upon your determination spends in this game.
Ooh.
For those of you who don't remember, determination is something you can call upon once per session. It allows you to achieve an automatic critical success on anything you are doing. It has to match the scenario, so you basically pitch it to the GM. Can I call upon this? It could be a value, something personal to you, or in this case, the litany of directives I'm about to give you. Here we go. Directive 1. Prevent dissemination of classified Starfleet records and intelligence. You can summarize that however you wish on your character sheet. Don't let them have
Can you do
secret
one more
stuff.
time? Sorry.
Yeah. Prevent the dissemination of classified Starfleet records and intelligence. Junior officers are encouraged to show initiative and devise their own solutions within the parameters of the Prime Directive. Junior officers are required to obey the chain of command, but this is known. The last one is First contacts initiated by alien civilizations should be handled by the highest ranking Starfleet officer available. And that one's funny because it actually doesn't apply to any of you. If you need to know something, or if you're not sure, find a very discreet place to contact the Valley Village. But do not contact anybody out in the open. Don't. You are also all going to be given type 1 phasers.
Yes.
So instead of those are the small ones, the little bitty ones, not the type 2 or the handheld ones. The type 1 phasers are the ones you can slip in somewhere discreet.
In my foam finger.
Under no circumstances are you to take that phaser off of the stun setting.
They do say it's a roll of acquisition that is unnumbered, but good things come in small packages. And I know that phaser packs a punch. Let's go.
Do
I'm
what
saying
you
this in my
can.
head.
If you have any questions, if you're not sure, if things are ambiguous and you're not sure what decision to make and you're worried about it, find a discreet place to contact command, and they will offer guidance or better yet, orders to get you where you need to go. The captain turns to you, Eve, and says, I've decided that I want to include you on this mission, Eve. I think it would be not only valuable for you, but also, as it turns out, well, XO, do you want to show them? And she motions, and the XO says, we managed to do a brief survey before we were accosted. And he turns over and taps a button, and you see up on the display an image pop up of a brief picture that essentially was taken by the surveillance equipment that they had on their belts. You see, Ferengi, Klingons, Romulans, Vulcans, a couple of people poorly cosplaying Borg. You see humanoid life forms walking around, bumpy green heads, everyone wearing Starfleet emblems on their jackets, having conversations, cups that look like you're pretty sure that might be a visage of James T. Kirk, but it is plastic with a straw coming out the top like it is a reward cup of some kind at an amusement park. And yes, you see what look like animals, native animals that are dressed in cosplay as porgs, tribbles, you name it.
This is the best planet ever.
To perhaps everybody but Keela, Eve makes no noise whatsoever. To Borkley and Keela, that is a different scenario altogether.
I hear something very high-pitched.
We will have you detected for tinnitus when you get back to the ship. But for now, we must proceed with the mission. Please meet me in Transporter Room 1 after you have undergone your surgical alterations.
Eve will look down at Borkley and flip Borkley's mane one way, flip it the other way, like they're studying, and get a sly look in their eye.
Cut to. Cut to all of you entering into Transporter Pad 1. Everyone has been cosmetically altered to look like the native Shawani. The uniform changes and whatnot are not that extensive. Essentially, you've kind of had to downgrade so that your uniforms don't look quite as sharp as your lower decks California class uniforms. Instead, they look like maybe you bought them off of Facebook. And they weren't what they appeared to be when you purchased them. Instead, you are all kind of wearing what looked like cosplay versions of cheaply made uniforms, as well as plastic communicators that have been cleverly hidden to be actual communicators. And your program, a slight alteration in the code, allows you to give yourself bumps and shading as needed. However, Borkley looks exactly like a Targ, but 2 bumps have been added to Borkley's head. You all loaded up onto the transporter, and the captain and the XO are watching you as everyone steps up onto the transporter pad. The transporter chief just nods, and the captain says, remember, this is a very delicate mission, so do what you can here, and if you need any guidance, message back up to us. Your primary objective, we need you to locate the central library computer. Once you've located the computer, contact the Valley Village and we'll give you the next set of mission parameters. Scope the place out. Find out what the situation is, when the best time to get to the computer will be, and think outside the box. But don't take actions until you've told us what the situation is. Understood?
Quick question for you, Eric. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
The alterations that we have, would that affect my hearing, or would my hearing remain the same?
Nope, your hearing remains the same. It's all cosmetic. So your ears actually don't have to remain they don't have to your ears don't have to have been changed. In this case, anything that is like specific to your species does not have to have been changed, but it will be made to look like it is part of this culture. So
I was gonna make it look like part of the hat. That says Ferengi
so
forever.
essentially like a makeup glean attached to your ears to make them look like they might be plastic, like glue-on style, but they're not changed otherwise.
And I have my foam finger. I don't know why.
Ferengi number 1.
I can't believe I've had this. Finally, this serves a purpose.
I love Latinum on the back. Ferengi number 1 on the front.
Forever, Ferengi forever, Latinum. Wait, I'll think of something clever.
All right. Good luck, away team. Energize. You all covered in that energy. And as you emerge onto the planet's surface, you find yourself in a small out-of-the-way alcove behind what looks like a big, heavy-set bushes out here, some kind of greenery. The arboreal touch down here is very similar to Earth, but you can tell that there are obvious variations. But you essentially appear on what looks like a vacant grassy knoll behind a building. You do have your standard tricorders, and you do have your Type 1 phasers. Hopefully you won't need the stats for those right away. And you appear in what looks like somewhat close to the downtown center area where you know the central computer is located. What would you all like to do?
Does there appear to be any, like, officials nearby, like police or crossing guards, or just anybody around?
Well, emerging from behind the building. What you're going to see is a big population center of stalls and whatnot outside. And oh my God, this looks like costume day at Starfleet Academy. As you all gaze out across the atmosphere, you see what essentially to us above board would be accurately described as the biggest Star Trek convention you've ever seen in your life. Taking up an entire city block here, you see people walking around with balloons of the Enterprise D and a bunch of kids with foam batleths, like screaming about their honor as they're running around chasing each other with them. As you all enter into the main crowd, you see all kinds of Star Trek paraphernalia, Starfleet, I should say. You see people walking around in Starfleet uniforms, some people walking around in what looks like really campy, really poorly made, but made with love Cardassian uniforms that kind of give you the heebie-jeebies when you see people that have glued teeth to their heads to act like they're Jim Hadar, just moving around and having very kind discussions about the latest episode of Starfleet. Apparently, a board game has also been created here called Starfleet. You do see that today is a convention day at the main library computer. And as you're all taking this in, I'm spending threat.
Oh, no.
And I got from that last roll. Because in that moment, Borkley mistakes another targ for an actual targ. And as Borkley is waddling, stops and goes and charges. As they start getting 10, 20, 30, 40 feet away, you notice in that moment, Eve, you begin to flicker a little bit as they're charging away.
Excuse me, I'm going to go try to get in range.
You run after.
Can I?
Oh,
go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, as I'm going to start running as well, because I feel like
Same.
Again, I'm small but mighty. Security.
Okay. Not to split the away team, I'm guessing everyone's following as Eve is charging after this angry targ.
I want to be part of the group, so I follow them.
Okay. You all charge after the angry targ. Eve, you are struggling to keep up with Borkley is a targ. Borkley is fast. Very, very dangerous over short distances. As Borkley charges into the crowd after this targ, you run past a couple of these Shawani who go, "That is a fine targ! Ah, ha, ha, ha. That targ runs with honor!" As you all rush past these
Can anybody
Klingon
do a
dressed.
big whistle or something? Anybody got I can't. Somebody.
Can I
whistle.
can I try and give him a heal type command? Like,
You can shout after him. Yes. Or her, as it were. If you would like to.
yeah, I'd like to like heals. Stay.
Ew, stay! Stay! As you run past them shouting that, one of them goes, "Oh, I know that Earth term," as you run right past them. You guys continue to chase through some of the crowd. And when you finally get to a point where it looks like Borkley is going to stop, Borkley does a hard right turn as somebody who is walking their fake targ goes, "Oh my gosh!" and immediately scoops up their baby targ into their arms as this bizarre four-legged creature that they're holding starts whimpering at the sight of an actual targ charging over. And you start to flicker a little bit, but they don't notice immediately. As you rush up, Borkley stops at the feet of this Shawani who is holding. She is currently dressed like a Romulan officer and has gone a little overboard with it. The top part of their uniform is hideous, just like the Romulan officers' uniforms tend to be. Checkered black and white with these huge, like over-exaggerated points coming off of their shoulders. Wow, that's a great Targ costume. They go from being scared to amazed.
Especially when said creature behaves. I'm so sorry. What a darling little creature.
Oh, thank you. I just got the costume yesterday. I ordered it off of Snish. It's one of my favorite sites.
Can I pet them?
Snish.
Of course, but be careful. They're a Targ. They can be dangerous. She smiles and holds it out to you.
I pet the hell out of it. Yeah, I'm so excited about it.
You pet this little creature. It looks
the dog,
vaguely. It looks almost kind of like a capybara, but not quite. The head's a little more pointed. Holds it up. It stares at you kind of passively as you pet it. It has tusks that have been fit onto the side of its head by what it looks like sort of a hat that's been fixed onto the back of its ears, giving it a very fake Targ look.
As I pet it, I look down at Borkley and I kind of like make like a this could be you, what you playing kind of vibe.
Mm. Your costumes are amazing. Do you hear? There's a rumor going around. They think that Starfleet might have actually beamed onto our planet and might be trying to make first contact. It's not funny. It's true. I've heard it myself. There's rumors all throughout the library computer area. Is a buzz with it. Oh, I'm going to go see some of the panels today. Everyone's talking about it.
Is this like a SARP? A Starfleet action role play?
Yes. I mean, there's LARPing. Sure. I was a member of the bridge crew myself on my own ship.
Your ship? Can you tell us about your ship?
Oh, it's nothing big. It's a sovereign class vessel. But our captain is a changeling.
Oh.
Anyway, we role play, maybe twice a week. We broadcast it as much as we can. Oh, I don't know if you heard too, but they've reunited I don't know if you heard about this. We're not supposed to know. It's kind of an advance announcement. But apparently, the return of the fan favorite actual play Starfleet Adventures role-playing game Buckler of the Day After Today is going to be at the convention.
Wow. That's amazing.
Anyway, don't miss it. Gotta
we
go.
won't. Do you know if they're doing tours of the library?
Of course.
Main library?
They're
Oh,
doing
great.
big talks today. In fact, I heard, and she looks around, I heard that they're doing a lecture today, and the person who's going to be there, and she seems to be keeping her voice down, leans in close and says, Kuda Kellum herself is going to be there today.
Kuda? Obin. Kuda.
And Alj, but who cares about him? I mean, I know he's a producer and everything, but Kuda. I can't wait. Anyway, don't let too many people know because then it'll be a huge line.
Your secret is safe with us.
Wait.
Good.
hold on,
'Cause the last
before-
thing I want to do is camp out around Hall H again.
Wait, before you run away, what are they producing?
Oh, all of the shows, of course.
Like Starfleet shows?
Yeah, Alj Burmrod he just got done producing the latest drama about the Romulans entering into the Federation's war with the Dominion, which apparently was done because I guess there was something happened behind the scenes with the Taylor, but the transmissions weren't too clear about that. Apparently most of the log was deleted. But Alj, you know how he is about drama, kind of making stuff up as he goes along. If you're a fan of the Captain Benjamin Sisko, the Prophet, then yeah, check it out. It's gonna be
I'm
good.
a big fan.
Anyway, I really have to go. I don't want to miss any of the panels today. Bye!
Yes. Hopefully we'll see you there.
See you there. Live long and prosper. As she skips away.
Didn't finish my scan.
Well, it sounds like we know who maybe arranged for those transmissions. Algae and
Alj.
Algae and Kuda.
Alj Burmrod is who she mentioned. And the one that she's really excited about is someone named Kuda Kellum.
Kuda Kellum and Algae Burmrod.
So I had a thought based on if they think that a producer is creating a show for them,
Right.
it's possible that most of the people who live here don't actually know that. I look around to make sure no one's like nearby in earshot.
Mhm.
Is it possible that they think this is all just one big TV show like we do with honorable mate?
Did
Well-
the individual we just talked to say like something about the
Transmission.
transmissions? Where I was like,
Yeah.
like said something about transmissions.
And
Mhm.
also said
Correct.
that they thought Starfleet might be here.
Be here, yeah. So I think it's
So-
there are shows based on like there are producers. Sorry, I'm above table. It sounds like there are
Yeah.
people like producers who make shows based off of the transcripts so that people can have a condensed version. Am I interpreting that correct, Eric?
I would say
But I think
Maybe.
probably it sounds like you might be onto something with that.
Okay.
Based
it
off
sounds
of
like
what
they're
you
taking the transmissions and making it appear like they're producing it.
Yes,
That's
that's what I
That's what I was trying to pick up. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
in game also.
And now people
yeah.
are starting to think maybe it is real.
Huh. Yes.
Yeah, like this
I
Kuda and this
say
RJ
let's-
are like stealing transmissions and making a TV show out of it. Basically, that's kind
Yes.
of what I'm getting. Okay,
I say
I think it's maybe like 13 years of transmissions that the general public isn't all reading all at once, and that there are just some people turning it into dramas, but all the transcripts still exist for people to read as like things that reached their planet.
I think we need to see what they're seeing.
How
And
close
I
are we to
think-
the library computer?
that's what I was going to do. We need to go do a tour. I'm
Mhm.
excited.
Not that far. It's the largest
that way,
building
I
in the
think.
center, and it looks like it's an open convention center almost.
Yeah, we go that way.
Yeah.
Rule of acquisition 217. You can't free a fish from water, so let's jump in.
does it seem like people have badges they need to get in?
No.
Okay, good.
When you approach the main building, first of all, you see banners all over the place. All of them have the Starfleet symbol on them. You not only see the Starfleet symbol, but it looks like variations of the Starfleet symbol. So you see some of them dating back to the early days of Starfleet, all the way through to the present era of the different incarnations of the Starfleet symbol badge that everyone wears. And you see that being prominently and proudly displayed as you were all walking in. The Starfleet logo, the United Federation of Planets, even has the accurate number of stars listed on the blue background and everything. It's like you were walking into a bizarre, like welcoming ceremony at Starfleet Academy. But when you enter the main building itself, the building itself is circular, and walking in is simple enough. Everything around you is open to the public. But what you see is it looks like daily they have conventions celebrating Starfleet. And everyone around here is wearing things like, yes, fake Ferengi ears, You see they are wearing fake Klingon ridges. They are wearing fake Vulcan ears. They're wearing, some of them are walking around in cosplay and taking pictures of each other. You see a couple of Vulcans wearing like meditation robes, which could be considered slightly offensive considering they're ritualistic and part of Vulcan culture. And they're taking pictures of them, and you see them smiling big and doing this. You see people all over the place, is saturation of celebration of ecstatic, and you hear over the loudspeaker being played. Today, joining us for the first time in over a year, we have special guests in Hall 3. Hall 3, report there as soon as you can and don't miss it. Joining us from far, far away, the one who detected the transmissions over 12 years ago and is responsible for all of the scientific advancement and bringing us some of the most celebrated stories from our distant friends in Starfleet, Kuda Kellam, scientist, scholar. And joining us today is Al-J Bermrod, the famous producer who has brought us all of our favorite shows like Blood of the Emptiness and, of course, Dirty Skies. Coming to us live today and today only.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is anyone dressed up like a Wadi?
Oh,
You
no.
Or it's a
Yeah.
Marianne. I was wondering too.
Be honest with me, I can take it.
No. You see Klingons, Cardassians, Vulcans, Romulans,
Ugh,
humans.
How basic.
You do see a couple of people who, like most cosplayers who are paying really close attention to lore, find a brilliant piece of cosplay that everyone will recognize, but no one ever wears, wearing a Tellarite costume. But that's about it.
Alpha
And
Quadrant.
people here apparently consider that a deep cut. But you do see trill spots on a few people as they're walking around, the easiest cosplay. And you also see a couple of other species. You do see Six. You do see a couple of really bizarre homemade Borg costumes of people who have attached piping and metal and stuff to their
Ooh.
bodies and are walking around and acting like stiff robots.
On that note, I have definitely put on 7 of 9 style, like to cover my actual implant. I put
Mhm.
on a cosplay version of 7 of, because I feel like I'm probably a 7 of 9 fangirl, and so I definitely have like taken the opportunity to dress up like one of my heroes.
You do see a crowd of what looks like Shawani that walk past you, and of course, there's like an entire group of 7 of 9s, and and they're all talking to each other and being very biting towards each other in a flat tone. That is illogical. That is most inefficient. And as they continue to walk by, you can hear it playing off. But yeah, you see all of this in open display, as well as some of the background, and you do see a central hub, but there's no sign of a large library computer. There's a couple of signs here that also direct you to rooms that apparently are having panels discussions. One of them says, discussions on Federation technology. Are they called dampeners or dampers? Sensors or sensors? There's another one that says, the Romulan diet, how to eat in secret. Another one says, the life of Tuvix.
Oh my god.
The last one says, Ponfar singles mixer. And in parentheses, it says, canceled.
The environmental storytelling.
Oh my goodness, can this be a real convention? Okay. Is
There
there
is
any type
there-
information console or anything like that?
There is, and all it's doing is displaying these panels. But above on the banner panel, advertised as you just heard, it says the Prime Directive Debate main stage. Listen to 2 opposing sides and meet the people who have been the most influential, who brought us the stories of Starfleet, Kuda Kellam and Al-J Bermrod.
I'd like to take a moment to just kind of like vanish in the bushes and update the valley
Okay.
about our current scenario.
All right, you all find a quiet room. It has been set aside for a couple of congoers. However, no one is using the quiet room. So as you all step inside, it looks like it is themed. So the moment you all step inside, you kind of realize that you are standing in what looks like a replica of the interior. You're pretty sure this is a replica of the Tin Ford on a Galaxy class starship. But nobody is in here. save for one. There is a single person, a Shawani, who is not paying attention. She looks very bored, and you're not entirely sure what she's supposed to be, but she is dressed in what looks like a green robe and a huge, bizarre disc hat on her head. It is just like folded out and circular and wraps around, and she is just sort of sitting there going,
can I see if I recognize who she might be?
if you spend a point of momentum, I'll just give it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, and y'all are down that, so that'll put y'all at 3 momentum. You're pretty sure it's quite famous because she served aboard the Enterprise D. But yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I was about to say.
this is somebody cosplaying as Guinan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no one at this table is
sounds
going
like-
to stop Elisa from making that choice.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Lisa and
Uh,
I bonded because Guinan is our favorite character.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's actually how we met.
also-
Yeah.
But also, it sounds like it's not a good Guinan cosplay, right? Is
No,
that what I'm
and
getting?
she's totally normal looking Shawani.
Okay.
But even as she is dressed, you can tell that she hammered it together pretty fast.
Oh,
And
okay.
it looks like
right.
the hat is a little too big.
Oh, it's like extra big.
Yeah, it looks like you are wondering how she got through the door.
Carefully.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I whispered to the crew, I think I know how to clear the room for us. And I will stroll over to this Guinan Shawani and say,
She looks up at you and goes, "Oh, hello. I'm a listener."
"Oh, hello. I'm a Temerian."
Tamarian. Wait, let me think about this.
It's okay.
Kadir beneath Mote.
Oh, Promfaya when she was unveiled at Krontus.
Soket, his eyes are opened. You all hear across the room as your crewmate confidently strides up to communicate with the native, has a few exchanges, and then you all hear the delighted giggle and laughter as Ubaya has some kind of encounter. Y'all aren't able to hear exactly what happened, but she is supremely delighted.
But I can hear the joy, so I just go,
Mhm.
Ferengi, acquiring Latinum.
But they don't know the fucking Wadi. She's just bitter.
Beep. Fucking Waddy.
I guess that means that Ubaya just won this one.
It seems to be.
Yeah, it seems like Ubaya
Uh,
has 1 and Gigi has 0. That's weird.
Mm,
I have like a bunch. I have a whole
Army with
gaggle. I'm like
fists
way ahead.
closed.
That's just the zoom in of a clenched fist.
GM, you said this was like you said 10 forward, so it's like a
It's big.
dining establishment.
Yeah, and it's empty except for her. You guys can
Are there like
easily-
booths?
What's that?
Is there like a booth, like a
Oh, booths, lots of open tables and chairs, but
Yeah,
there's so much
okay.
open space that it's easy to take a corner here and not be heard.
Yeah, I think Ellie's gonna kind of like
Okay.
set us up and like kind of like shepherd us people into like a standing shoulder to shoulder, so that whoever's gonna communicate can kind of huddle down in front.
Easy enough to
and-
do, and she is completely distracted with a very excited Tamarian.
And we're just going back and forth with Temerian phrases.
Yeah. So, real quick before you communicate, as this is unfolding, Ubaya, she speaks better Tamarian than most people you've met in the Federation. Like, clearly has studied as many phrases as she possibly could. So you are finding yourself as somebody who speaks and even has accent could use a little work, but otherwise, not bad, not bad.
I'm so delighted.
Okay. What would you like to say to the USS Valley Village?
Our current situation as it stands is that there is a someone named Kuda Cody that is the scientist that picked up
Kill him.
kill him. Apologies. That picked up the transmission, and then there's another individual who then made a production of it. They seem to be fascinated with Klingons, Romulans, and all manners of species.
You have to tell them the name. Yeah, it's the other one. Alj Bermrod. You gotta tell them all the information.
Did you get that, Valley?
Did you hear? I would like lean into your. There's the other one in case they know, and it gets swatted.
You hear so Paul on the comms go, copy that away, team. What is your intention to proceed? Will you be attending this seminar? It might be helpful to learn who it is we're dealing with and perhaps learn the location of the central computer.
I believe we have located the central computer. It's the big tower that was pointed out to us by the local that we met. No, we have not.
It's in this building, but you have not spotted it.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then we know the general location, but we will investigate further for the exact. They even have individuals dressed as Kardashians and the Jim Hadar of the
Cardassians?
Cardassians and Jim Hadar.
I would not do that to you.
I'm just saying, the one that's dressed like Kim looks real great.
I always love that. I just want to pretend they don't exist.
All right. Very well, away team. Proceed. Keep us informed of any changes. If you make any discoveries, contact us immediately. Valley Village out.
Did Starfleet just not record their first contact with? Never mind. It's so does anyone have any stratagems that they would like to employ?
Well, I think in my head, we either go to this panel and learn more about what they think about what they think they know, or it seems like a big event. Maybe there will be less people around to snoop.
That's
while
true. And
everybody's
most of
at
the
panel.
most of the security would probably be around there, and a distracted policeman is an opportunity. That's one of my favorite roles of acquisition.
I like that
We-
one. I
we
like
could
that
use
a
that
lot.
time to access the mainframe and
Mhm.
figure stuff out for that for sure.
And
How much
time,
time-
like platinum, is a highly limited commodity. Another rule of acquisition that is one of my favorites.
Eric, how long until this panel that we keep getting told about?
It is minutes away from starting.
Oh shoot! Okay, so then we have to decide if we want to go. Yeah.
You guys happen to walk in right as it was getting underway.
Do we want to half-seas? Do we want to go? Half of us go snoop, half of us go to the panel, or do we all want to go to one or the other?
I feel like timing wise, it'll probably be better if we all just stay together.
Yes, and
But Caitlin loves to split the party. You need to understand this about me. I love to split the
Oh my
party.
God,
I
even
agree
has
with you,
someone
but
dressed
it's
as
6:30.
Just my proposition. We're gonna, yeah. I'm fine with that.
I'm with you. We just almost 6:30.
I say we go to the panel and see if the computer is. Maybe they'll.
Eve's
give us
wandered to the
information.
panel in search of Targs.
Yep.
Okay.
As
So
we
then-
walk
go
to
to
the
the panel.
panel, I inspect the gift shops.
Okay. In which case,
They're making our way.
it takes Ubaya, you make a friend. she just says, "Let me know next time you're coming by. I'll give you all the free drinks. Nobody ever comes in here."
Oh, my friend, it has been like Nimrod and Irfan over the second mountain.
Oh my gosh! It's so nice to meet another Temerian lover. Definitely come back. I'd love to talk to you more about some of the. Oh my gosh, the Jean-Luc Picard mission. Darmok, it just breaks my heart. It's so beautiful though, and so anyway, I won't keep you. Come back.
Okay.
Bring your friends. I'll give them all free drinks.
Oh.
And
We'll
she
see you
waves
later.
goodbye. Bye.
And
You
I
all
run and
head
catch
out.
up. Yeah.
One thing you will have all observed is the Shawami are definitely an affable people. They are all very excited and very enthusiastic. But one of the things you're all starting to get as you're making your way towards the panel is that it definitely looks like their society has been fundamentally altered. But what's curious is you're also seeing images flash up on the screen that bear some semblance to Earth history, in that apparently not more than 15 years ago, the world of Shawami 2 was politically divided. There was war. There wasn't an economic stability anywhere to be found in any of the major countries here. It looks like there were divisions in class. There looks like there was a lot of social problems. And almost all of them have united under the excitement of the Starfleet culture and all of this. As it's the formation of it is, you're starting to see this might be a little more complicated than you initially realized. When you approach the panel, you see there's a couple of more debate stages that have been set up. One of them is a discussion on the principles of one Jean-Luc Picard's notable diplomatic achievements and how they can be applied to ending a long-standing military and how they were applied to a long-standing military conflict, ending war between two Shawani nations. And then you come across the main stage where you see what looks like a Shawani native, a woman that looks like she is quite upstanding, a total scholarly type, very typical. Whereas what looks like these small clipped-on bifocals onto the bridge of her ridged nose, and of course her bumpy head, brilliant red hair, and she is dressed very fine, like a member of the scholarship. And next to him is somebody who could best be described in Shawani sweats, with shorter, dark brown hair. Looks like they don't really care that much. Looks like they're playing some kind of mobile game on their communication device and isn't really paying attention to anything that anybody is saying. Perhaps a producer or the head of a studio, maybe an independent digital network studio of some kind. Somebody who looks pretty incompetent at their job and maybe is probably just getting this job because they were on the higher up scale and no one's paying attention to how they're running the company into the ground.
Is the mobile game the game that comes back with with Wesley in the putting the circles in the
game? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you hear the moderator asking questions. Well, that's an interesting point you're making there, Kellum. So on that note, what would you both have to say about the influence of Starfleet culture? I mean, surely the Prime Directive, it's obviously a major factor in the Federation and how they move and deal with other species in the galaxies, somewhat like ours. What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe that we have, in a way, kind of gone against the very principles in which we are celebrating? Kellum says, well, would you rather go back to the way it was before? The wars, the poverty, the disease, the compulsory dance marathons, the discrimination against tone-deaf people without unibrows? Of course not. I think society has advanced for the better. And Al-J Bermrod immediately looks up from his mobile device and says, look, Prime Directive arguments have been done to death. It's all just for show. Half the times captains end up breaking them anyway. And he goes back to his mobile device.
I'd like to kind of lean in and whisper to the crew. I believe I may have conjured a masterstroke that will win this battle for us, and it follows the obligation or the guideline to think outside the box, if you would all be so willing.
Rule of Acquisition 168, whisper your way to success. Whisper away.
I have concerns, but I'm willing to hear you out.
I believe that our folly is we are working in subterfuge. The primary directive has already been violated, not by any individual, but by our technology itself. These people show themselves to be honorable, affable. I believe they would willingly give us the information that we're looking for.
So basically just
Ask them.
Ask someone.
pull the illusion off and reveal ourselves and just ask them for the knowledge.
Yes.
Well, I think we could probably even just ask someone flat out without giving them anything in return. Like, just, hey, do you know where XYZ? And
I agree.
I am going to remind the crew. I'm not saying you can't do what you're going to do, but just keep in mind that twice during the briefing, you were directed not to violate the Prime Directive.
yeah, no, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, we could just ask somebody where to go.
But the
we
suggestion
could
was
ask them
made.
in
So,
character.
because first of all, I mean, GG, they have a point. They have a pretty good point.
Yeah.
But the order was given not to violate the Prime Directive. You can still do it, and I will go where you go. But just keep in mind, because this is something your character would remember, having been given that mission briefing. So
I'm just gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, Another favorite rule of acquisition of mine. Why ask when you can take? I don't think we should ask.
We don't know where it is to take it.
Well, we
Have
can
we-
ask that. I'm saying,
okay.
don't
Yeah.
ask for it
Um,
back.
While
No,
y'all
I
are
have a-
having,
Sorry, go ahead.
just real quick, while y'all are having this discussion, you start hearing a buildup of noise near the main stage. And it sounds like there's a ruckus in the middle of Kellum giving a discussion as to why the Prime Directive is a noble cause, but why it's flawed. All of a sudden, you hear a ruckus starting up at the front of the stage, and notice there are signs being posted, being hoisted up above the crowd as you see what looks like a group of about 12 primers
Oh, God.
starting to protest. Somebody jumps out front and starts shouting, "The Prime Directive is meant to be protected. You're all hypocrites. If we were going to truly honor Starfleet, we should erase all of the information and get rid of this culture altogether right now. Save Shwani culture. Save Shwani culture." And the protesters begin chanting. And you hear somebody say, "I'm sorry, security, can we get them removed?" And sure enough, you see what look like, you're pretty sure based off the fluffy hair, it looks like maybe 3 people dressed like Worf with these chains kind of going across their chest like they're wearing a Klingon sash. Immediately go over, and one of them, even though he's barely touched by one of the protesters, throws himself across the table and falls onto the floor. The others manage to actually get some of the protesters and start ushering them out. The lead one says, "You won't silence us! Shwani culture is being damaged! Protect the Prime Directive," as they're all being escorted out.
Maybe we get in contact with those guys.
Can I levy my concerns with you all as we're heading to talk to those people? Because I have a real big issue going on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would
like,
love to hear it.
so y'all know how like I'm a Borg, or I was a Borg, and like not anymore, and like that's pretty good for me. Like I like not being a Borg, but like a lot of times in the collective, if like a cube or a ship would get separated from the collective all of a sudden with no warning, like a lot of them wouldn't survive it because it was like a lot of chaos and a lot of like suddenly conflicted emotions and ideas, and no one really knew what to do, and it was all out of nowhere, and it wouldn't go great. And I'm really getting concerned that this society has made themselves super peaceful and like serene in the last 12 years. And if we just suddenly cut off that tap, they're going to get like real mad about it, like real fast. And I'm like a little concerned about that. So I just like want to weigh, like, can we maybe like find a way to do it? I don't know.
I mean, the
Well,
ideas of
back-
Starfleet would still be there. It's just we're just taking away the information of the details. This all
But-
still kind of remains.
But they might not see it that way though.
They just had a fight about it, like right in front of us. We literally just
Yeah.
saw a fight happen.
I think we've looped back around to the thought experiment of, are we violating the Prime Directive in an attempt to
Well,
prevent the breaking of the Prime Directive?
I do have a thought, and I just want you to hear me out.
Mhm.
I feel like we discussed earlier, like they know they got these signals from space, and then they made drama stuff out of them. But what if we could like just tilt it a little bit so that like they think that it came from them, and this was just like a thing of their culture? Because I mean, like lots of people have heard about Starfleet, and they haven't all become utopias. Like a lot of them have had some issues, but they did it. And like I feel like most of what you just said, Keela, is that like they did it. Like it's still their culture and their values. So I wonder if we could just spin it in a way of like, look at the beautiful thing you made, and then they might just keep on doing it instead of thinking about they're getting it from like.
But that could happen anyway. If we delete the stuff and then they need new content, they're going to create it themselves in the ideals of Starfleet.
I worry that they might get mad first. So if there's a way we can wean it or give them an excuse or someone to blame on purpose instead of letting them ideate wildly about who to blame, maybe
They need a
I don't know.
story.
they need a story.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We're all on the same page.
Yes.
Nor.
Can I slip my way to the Q&A microphone?
Oh, no.
You could make the attempt.
Okay.
Do you have more of a comment than a question, though?
I'm sorry. I'm remembering being on a panel where somebody got yelled at for that.
Oh, we've all been on that panel.
Yeah, I would like to try and slip my way to the Q&A mic that's in the
Okay. You approach the Q&A mic. No one's paying much attention to it right now.
Hello?
A few people on stage look at you. Kellum doesn't seem to take much notice, and neither does the other one, as he seems to be, of course, engrossed in his mobile game. The rest of the crowd, though, there's a few people that look at you as you take the mic. And a few of them are just like, what species is he? I don't know. I don't remember that one from the data transmissions.
Oh no.
My feelings are only marginally hurt. I have more of a comment than a question. my colleague said something brilliant, and I think I would like to share it with all of you. Regardless of your stance on the Prime Directive, we made this world, or you all made this world. If you do believe in Starfleet, I would ask for you to show the same empathy that defines what Starfleet is, and to consider the position that they would be in if they would discover a world like this. If Starfleet did exist, how would you best honor them? And what would they do should they encounter you? You are making it so that if Starfleet exists, you could never become part of it.
I'm spitting threat.
Oh no.
Suddenly somebody jumps up in the crowd and says, what do you mean if? He doesn't believe in Starfleet. They don't believe in Starfleet. Everyone starts immediately shouting at you. Get him out of here. Take him out with the protesters. Yeah. Get out of here, unbeliever. And you see a couple of people immediately get up, and a few Bajoran security officers dressed like they were from Deep Space Nine and the Bajoran militia approach you and say, I'm sorry. Could you please accompany me?
You're wearing a uniform that you don't deserve to wear because you don't know what I am.
Whatever. I spent 7 hours making this. How dare you?
And
You
it's
have any
flawed.
idea how much this cost me to make? I have a backache from hunched over at my hotel room working on this during my break, just so I could get back to the con floor in time so I don't miss the photo op. I can't do this. And turns around and leaves.
Wait a second.
The other Bajoran turns and looks
Oh.
and says, you can't believe you
sorry.
said that. Do you have any idea how long it takes to make a Bajoran nose implant?
You all still use money? You didn't learn anything.
Anybody who's watching this exchange will notice that a couple of people in the crowd have started to give the narrowed eye look from all of the past tense and you-alls being directed at a lot of folks are starting to look very suspiciously at Gigi as they stand there at the mic.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
I have a value called blends into the background. Can I go knock over something really big?
Yes. You find what looks like a
Like
water
a big
cooler
lighting
that is-
equipment or like a audio equipment or something that would knock over that would make a loud sound, cause drop so we can go. We gotta
Feedback.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Larson
there's
effect.
a water
Microphone.
cooler next to some electronics,
Mhm.
and it's easy enough to just walk over there and just go, and just thinking quickly, without really giving a lot of thought to the cause and effect of this, you shove the water cooler over. The water cooler smashes into the ground.
Uh-huh.
There's a crashing of glass as water goes everywhere. You see sparks, and all of a sudden, behind the auditorium, you see in the back where a bunch of makeshift props, this large-looking torpedo device suddenly light up and start spewing what looks like fog as sparks begin to play. And somebody in the crowd stands up and goes, "Oh my gosh! The Genesis device has been activated! It's going to spark!" And you hear, "Everybody clear
my
out! Everybody
God.
clear out!" As people start to get up out of their chairs.
Elliot
and-
goes, "That'll work," and starts like dragging the crew.
Yep.
Yep.
You pull the side.
Yeah.
I immediately
I'd like to grab Gigi from
Okay.
the Q&A line. We all kind of
You're all
skedaddle.
ushered very quickly out. Borkley kind of muscles their way through the crowd as she is not going to let their best friend get handled poorly. Everyone gives a large space to Borkley as she's just like, you all muscle your way out in the crowd, and the Genesis device starts to, you hear this huge noise like it's build up. lights begin to flash everywhere, and he goes and shuts off. And he goes, okay, falls over, and somebody slides into frame going, no, I spent my allowance on that. And everyone is pushed out of the room.
Oh,
You guys find yourself in the main corridor as people are starting to disperse, and like, that was the best panel so far. Do you think the arrest was real? As everyone's moving away, and as they are, you see off in the corner, one of the Shwani who is escorted out is holding his protest sign and looking disgruntled and trying to stop people, holding them, handing out pamphlets as they walk by, and everyone's ignoring him. Because, no, what? The Prime Directive needs to be protected. Shwani culture is being damaged.
I'd like to walk directly up to them.
Okay. You see, he looks so forlorn, and he walks up to you and goes, what?
It's really difficult to organize collective action when you don't have a collective. We might be able to back you up, but we need some information. If you're willing to chat.
Not making fun of me?
Does this look like a making fun of face? And she turns back to her friends. Am I doing my making fun of face?
She's not.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I can't tell. I'm not making my making fun of face.
Okay. I'm Jadix. What do you want?
Where's the library computer?
What they said.
Huh? It's in the central computer bay in the very back.
You have? Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say?
I just was if we had a map because we were kind of turned around.
Could you take us there?
He looks at all of you suspiciously, and he says, "Yes."
Look, I'm just gonna. We're also primers in disguise, and we agree the Prime Directive needs to be taken care of and protected. So we're ready to do whatever it takes. Are you with me? And I'd like to use my focus. I want to make a roll of trying to convince them that we're primers trying to
Okay.
do the right thing. And I have focuses in deceit and
You're gonna need it.
infiltration.
Okay.
I also have
like to
a negotiation focus, so that was my attempt.
You
If
can
I can give an assist, if I can
yeah.
give an assist, I would love to give
I'd
an
like
assist.
So
to
then
help
you're
with
going to need to
development.
make a presence command check.
Me? Crap. Okay.
Whoever's taking the lead on this.
Yeah, you take the lead, Keela.
Okay.
And then
I said I warmed us up.
yeah. So Caitlin, I would say make a reason security check.
Okay. Ooh, that was barely.
The difficulty of this is going to be. I'm actually going to spend threat
Mhm.
and make the difficulty 5.
Okay.
On an assist, I'm rolling
are-
one die.
I'm taking a momentum
Okay.
for an
Yeah,
extra
do
roll.
it. Do it.
Take a momentum. Yeah, you
Okay.
roll a single die.
Would you allow more than one assist?
Just one assist, unfortunately.
2. Okay, and I'm also gonna. I want to burn a value.
Okay. What value?
I have a value there's no barrier I can't break through.
Okay. This will count. Yeah, I'll let that.
Or if that one doesn't work, change is coming and I'm gonna be a part of it.
Okay. No,
So
the
one
first
of
one's more. The
okay,
first one's
okay.
more.
So that would mean so I got 2 successes. One die did not succeed. But if I burn a value, that's what, 2 more? So that's 4.
So what'd you
So
And
Caitlin,
I crit on a focus.
get? Okay. Excellent. All right. So
yes.
he narrows his eyes.
Woo! Thank
but
you,
he says-
value.
It's just weird because I'm the head of the primer movement, and I don't know y'all, but you're all dressed like Starfleet, which is kind of icky since it's gross cultural appropriation. I mean, I'm sure the Andorians don't appreciate you walking around here in blue skin. Looks at you. That's just not cool. But sure, I guess I can help a little bit. What exactly you all have in mind? Do we maybe want to help me get back there and delete all the data?
We have a plan. We just
that's a
need to
great
know how to
idea.
get there. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
What a great idea.
If you're serious about this, I'll help
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
But we're going to have to be very careful.
Mhm.
The place is usually under guard. But the best thing to do is to come back just after the convention center closes in about 3 hours.
Okay.
So meet me. There's a little alcove. It's not too far from here, just around the corner where no one ever goes. It's just behind a shop, surrounded by bushes. I'll meet you there. Can't miss the spot.
Okay.
As he describes where you beamed in.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at my team and go, remember what I said earlier? A distracted policeman is an opportunity. Let's think of
This is
some
true.
distractions.
So we're going to cut to...
Could we have spent the 3 hours trying to work with our captain about trying to get some sort of wean off program built in, or like a story for them, so we're not cutting them cold turkey off of Starfleet? Could that be like a thing that would happen over the 3 hours?
Yeah, so what you get back is the captain listens to
Modifying the virus.
the captain listens to the report, and she looks deeply troubled. She says, "This is a big problem. I mean, Starfleet protocol is pretty clear that we have to delete all the information, but it seems like it would be pretty catastrophic. I'm going to alert Starfleet Command and ask for guidance. But right now, at least for right now, just to cover our bases, I need you to proceed with the mission as planned."
Tell them they have 3 hours if they want amendments, and we would like them if possible.
The captain smirks at you and says,
Captain.
"Thank you, Ensign." Also, good work, you guys. Good work taking initiative. And good job staying unnoticed.
Sorry.
She looks at you. Dismissed.
Good things up really fast.
Well, quickly. leave the room.
Cut it off.
3 hours later,
There we go.
Captain has not heard back from Starfleet. Unfortunately, the nearest relay station has been currently sent into standby mode.
Shit.
So you are all waiting.
My bad.
You are all waiting for a Starfleet signal to come in. Captain informs you to continue to proceed with the mission, and if anything changes, she will contact you all.
Okay.
Right
They
now,
gave us like a virus chip or something like that, like a USB style thing. Was
yeah,
that
essentially there is a device that will attach to the side of the mainframe and will actually interface with the data and extract all of it and destroy. Particularly the sensitive data that could be dangerous for Starfleet if it got out.
when we're like 5 minutes out, and we still haven't heard back, Elia's gonna turn to Six and be like, "Well, the captain did say that taking initiative, she did say that that was a good thing. How you feel about doing some modifications, just a little bit, just to start with maybe make the virus start with sensitive stuff, and then we give them some time to not have to cut them off completely, maybe."
I cover my ears so I don't hear this very aside conversation that probably shouldn't be heard by a security officer.
I am here for this. I am very into this.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
And
Trying to go
I
so
believe
fast
I'm
with the-
I look at
I believe I'm in
I think
charge.
that's what Cisco would do. Okay, who's in charge? Sorry.
Evie?
I believe I'm in charge of creating the distraction. Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're proceeding.
Yes, we do our little meetup.
As we proceed, I'm going to use my my phaser is inside my foam finger, so I'm using it as like a weapon, like a foam. Starfleet is number one, but it's in there, so no one can see that the phaser is ready to go.
You all show up at night, and rounding the corner just after you beam in, you see Jadix, who didn't catch you all beaming in. He goes, "Wow, you guys are prompt. Okay, follow me and stay low. And if we get caught, just tell them that we're imitating the mission where Beverly and Picard got captured by the Cardassians, or whatever. I don't watch anyway." And
Or could run really fast. You should always run from the cops. Sorry, that's not a Star Trek value. That's a Caitlin value. Continue.
Okay, so as you all proceed, it looks like the place is pretty empty, not necessarily very well guarded as you all enter into the main area. But as you start approaching the back, you, of course, are surrounded by the darkness and all of these old, like Mugatu styled suits that are up and kind of like in like opposing arrays. You come across what looks like a glowing visual representation of a Horta that's just on the ground and kind of moving around it and says, "I am a Horta. This is my lifespan." And it's giving like information and stuff like that as you all move by. You see what looks like a really funny, poor animatronic of Q just going, and it says, "Take your photo here." When you move to the back, you see what looks like a glass cylindered room, and in the center, what looks like a giant column filled with blinking lights and retro-style computer console interactivity areas where you can use either voice recognition or hands to interface with it. Thankfully, you won't have to worry about that. However, you do see, indeed, there is a guard here. Most notably, the guard looks like the guard has fallen asleep. And you see this particular Shawani is fast asleep. However, while he is fast asleep, the two animals that are currently standing guard look quite alert and are sniffing around. And you can all hear and feel the grumble of Borkley upon the sight of them as the two animals are just razored eyes. They look elongated, somewhat hairless, except for a mane on their back with a long pointed snout, very much like a larger version of what you saw earlier today. And you hear your new friend Jaddix go, "Oh, wolf moles. We're not going to outrun those. I don't know how to get past them. We might have to give up."
Oh, why would you want to run past them? They're perfect.
What do you mean? They're violent. They're deadly.
Isn't it lovely? Leave this to me.
Yeah, they've got this. Don't worry about it.
You step out.
I will signal to Borkley, like the way that you can have a herding dog come round.
Mhm.
To distract and maybe pull them off their post somewhat.
Okay.
Use a herding whistle, signal. Clearly, these species mutually interact.
Okay. If you spend a momentum, I'll give that to you.
Absolutely.
All right. Borkley steps out, and immediately the two wolf moles just stand up and they start growling at each other. And then after a moment, Borkley just gallops, and the wolf moles follow and gives them a good chase. Borkley, you feel your integrity is still intact. Borkley looks like they are doing their best to stay in range of you as she kind of runs around. But as that happens and they move off and you successfully distract the wolf moles, approaching this computer, stepping out from the shadows, you see Kellum. You see her pop up out of the shadows and goes, "I knew it."
I'm going to point my finger.
The doctor, this scholar woman, just turns around and approaches all of you and says, "I knew it. I knew the rumors were true because I detected your ship the moment it raised its shields. I had you on sensors. I knew you guys were planet side, and I know what you're about to do. I know who you are. As soon as I heard the rumors about Starfleet appearing, I began scanning the orbital space and I detected your vessel right before it raised its shields. I also know that if Starfleet came here, it would be to enforce the Prime Directive and remove contaminating knowledge, so I knew that this was your destination."
Great, then we don't have to explain anything.
No, it's a problem. No. She throws her hands up. No, you can't do this. Starfleet's problem is that you've lost sight of the reason for the Prime Directive. It's not just about hiding the truth. It's about trusting other cultures to make their own decisions without coercion. The knowledge from your beacon is now a part of our culture. You didn't force it on us. We adopted it by our own free choice. It became a part of the fabric of our lives in ways that serves our own needs.
Can
If
we
you
say
take
that while this
knowledge
is happening?
away-
I was going to ask if I could spend momentum to have the comms open to the captain.
That's what I was going to do.
You just
Open up a
click it.
channel to the captain.
Sure.
Can we
How
say
did
that
you
we
do
did
that?
that?
I had
as
it
soon as
open.
we-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same- yeah,
Captain's
same
hearing
age.
all this as she
Yeah, yeah.
continues. You just tap the communicator, and she says, "If you take that knowledge away from us now, you'll be violating the Prime Directive, not upholding it. You'll be forcing change on us against our will. Do you have that right? Surely we've proven ourselves to be able to handle the knowledge of a wider galaxy, and we've more than a dozen years to adapt to it freely and on our own terms. I submit that first contact has already been made, and that entitles us to a say in this decision." And then you hear, "Shut up. I'm trying to sleep." There's silence. And then you hear, "I heard that, Professor Kellum." And you see Kellum's eyes light up. She looks at all of you and you hear the voice of your captain say, "My name is Captain Fiesel of the USS Valley Village.
Elliot kind of points and is like, we're just ensigns. We don't have actually say in any of what you're talking about. So we've got talk here.
I get real close to them, like they can talk directly into my combat. Like,
And
don't mind your personal boundaries.
even though my ensigns have kind of taken a bit of a risk here by activating comms and putting me in contact with you, I have to admit, you've made a good point. Let's talk.
Preferably in person, Captain, so I don't have to continue holding my comm badge to their face.
I don't think you have to do that.
Oh.
Epilogue. 4 days later, all of you find yourself standing in the city square. You are standing behind the first officers and senior staff of the USS Valley Village, and are being honored with one of the very first California-class starships involved in first contact. As the captain stands before Dr. Kellum and a bunch of gathered officials here on Shwani 2. People are celebrating. There's a roar of crowd, confetti being tossed up and everything as the captain steps forward, and you see your Denobulan captain standing in front of a Shwani who's awkwardly dressed like a Denobulan, give a big smile, and she says, on behalf of the United Federation of Planets, it is my privilege and honor to make first contact with the Shwani people. This is my crew of the USS Valley Village, and we are excited to continue conversations about a brighter future for all of our peoples. And the president, who's standing in front, they smile widely and kind of stretch their face with their hands in an awkward way to try to emulate Denobulan's ability to plasticity of their big smiles and making their face larger, and says, "We are so honored to have you here, Captain. Thank you so much. Welcome to Shwani 2. We're your biggest fans." And says, "May I have permission to hug you, please?" And the captain says, sure. And a big cheer goes up as the lot of you standing in the background now have first contact on your mission profile.
Piece of cake.
Before the crowd cheers die down, it occurs to you in that moment, Ubaya, you've got drinks waiting for you at a bar.
Oh.
Everyone, follow me to 10 forward.
And as we walk, I'm going to turn to Ensign Gigi and I was like, if it was a competition for the rarest alien species, I think you won.
I did in your face, 6.
Fair. Fair.
I'm so sorry.
Also, Ensign Ubaya, if you ever want a friend to talk to about that book, I'm happy to talk to you about it too.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you'd read it too.
Well, I want to learn more about Starfleet, and I feel like a book about one of the most famous Starfleet commanders would probably be like a really good thing to do. So,
I could tell you all about Benjamin Sisko. He is exemplary, and I just on and on as we're walking back.
Yeah.
Eve, you are drawn to the sound of what looks like two mole wolves that are actually nuzzling up against a targ as the three of them walk together, and following in her lead, as she just proudly kind of has her chin up a little bit as the two have formed a bit of a pack now and are taking her orders. They just follow in close. You can see a security guard in the distance over the den just going, "Where the hell did they go?" Just kind of looking around as these two back in together.
You made first contact too.
Elia makes eye contact with one Andorian, the one Andorian cosplayer she's seen so far, and goes, "Oh, those antenna. Oh, ooh,
Oh, honey.
oh, honey, yeah, like a oh, like no, we'll follow to drinks."
And with that, we bring what,
Ensign,
Bonnie? What is
Ensign Keela, as they're walking in 10 forward, sneaks off to the gift shop because rule of acquisition, always inspect the merchandise before making a deal. And I go haggle some prices.
You encounter the front of the house person that's working the counter is dressed like Quark. And as soon as you walk in, he leans forward and says, "Oh, I've got some deals for you," and spits teeth out, the prosthetic teeth out onto your chest and just, "I'm sorry about that." Their glue doesn't really work, and starts forcing them back in.
That's all right. And I put my arm around him. Let's talk some profits. And as we
And he,
walk through the
should I be
shop.
clothed for this as the two of you, or is that the other way around? And just as the two of you are walking off, and that's where we're going to cut to our credits.
Yay.
So
That
thank
was
you
fun.
very much for this chaotic, wildly paced one shot of Lower Decks, sponsored by Modifious. Thank you so much, Modifious, for supporting the Streampunks as always. They've been with us since Shield of Tomorrow. I'm sorry. I meant to say Buckler of the Day After Today. And we appreciate all of you so much for following us since those ancient times. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned after the credits. We have a great surprise for all of you. And thank you for supporting the Streampunks as always. Thank you for joining us, Riley. It was great to have you joining our
Thanks for
group.
having
It's great
me.
to have you back, Bonnie. We will see you all soon. Until then, my friends, hailing frequencies are closed.